Close your eyes and let the soft winds carry you to a time long ago when the earth hummed with the whispers of divine women. Their voices flowed through temples and rivers, through desert sands and starry skies, guiding hearts with gentle strength. Tonight we drift together into these sacred stories, where every moment is a quiet breath of wonder. Let us move slowly through the myths of ancient cults, where goddesses shaped destinies, nurtured spirits, and offered solace. The world they touched is a world of calm rivers, moonlit forests, and golden light spilling across silent valleys. Here, in this quiet space, you may feel the peace of knowing the divine is always near. Softly, we step into a journey of 3 hours, a journey that invites sleep to wrap around you like a warm shawl. Let the stories of these sacred women guide you, as their myths unfold in whispers, gentle as the wind through tall reeds, easing every thought into rest. If these whispers bring you calm, you might leave a small note of where you are listening from, or simply subscribe, so these soft journeys can always find you when you need them. The world begins in a quiet glow. Soft rays of dawn stretch slowly across a sleeping land, brushing the tips of reeds and the gentle curves of riverbanks. Mist rises like whispered breath, curling and drifting through the valleys. You float above it, weightless, as the earth exhales its first light. Somewhere beyond the horizon, the faint shimmer of golden warmth touches stone and soil, and the sky bends softly to welcome a new day. In those early days, the people who walked the earth felt the sacred within every woman's presence. She was a keeper of life, a nurturer of dreams, a quiet guardian of the cycles that turned silently through the seasons. Her hands, tender and strong, held the seed in the soil, the child in the cradle. In her gaze, the stars themselves seemed to shimmer more brightly, and the moon reflected a softer, steadier light. Long before temples rose from stone, before columns and carvings marked the land, there was the idea of her, the goddess who breathed through everything. Her shape was not fixed, and her name drifted differently from one village to the next. Yet her essence was felt everywhere, in the slow curl of smoke from morning fires, in the quiet ripple of streams, in the whisper of grasses stirred by gentle wind. Soft drums, long and low, could sometimes be heard in the distance, carried by the early morning air. These were not loud celebrations, but quiet rhythms that echoed the heartbeat of the earth. They moved through the villages like a pulse, reminding those who listened that life was held in gentle cycles, and that the goddess walked with them, unseen but always near. Along the banks of sacred rivers, small altars began to appear, pebbles stacked in careful balance, bowls of water reflecting the rising sun. Fragrant flowers, their petals trembling in the first light. These were humble beginnings, yet in them rested devotion, calm and steady. The people who left offerings did not speak loudly or demand. They whispered their gratitude into the wind, and the goddess received it with quiet joy. You drift closer now, past the still waters, past the green curve of fields, and find yourself at the edge of one of these early settlements. Here a woman bends near a bowl of water, tracing patterns in the surface with her fingers. The droplets shimmer like tiny stars, and the morning breeze carries their faint scent toward you, soft as a lullaby. She does not see you, but you feel the gentle energy she radiates, and it fills the space around you with warmth. These first goddesses were not distant or cold. They were as close as breath, as soft as shadows, as radiant as sunlight falling on leaves. They taught that life could be both tender and enduring, that strength did not always roar, and that wisdom often came in whispers. In every child's cry, in every sprout of green, in every sigh of wind through the trees, their presence was quietly assured. Above, the sky blushes with deeper hues. Pinks and soft oranges stretch across clouds that move lazily. The rivers catch this light and scatter it in gentle reflections, as though the goddess herself is smiling upon the world. You feel the calm of these first hours, the kind of peace that seeps into your bones and loosens the grip of heavy thoughts. Here, in the hush of dawn, there is nothing to hurry toward, only the slow, rhythmic unfolding of life. In time, small temples begin to appear, built with stone and clay, with reed and wood. Each one is a quiet song of reverence. No walls are imposing, no pillars shout. Instead, each space holds soft corners where one might kneel or sit, and where the soft glow of firelight flickers across carved figures. These figures are of women, or of a woman in many forms, each hand holding a symbol, each gaze turned toward something beyond the visible world. One temple rises gently upon a low hill. You approach it on soft soil, each step cushioned by moss and fallen leaves. Inside, the air is warm with incense, delicate smoke curling like tiny rivers toward the ceiling. Candles burn in quiet pools of light, their flames moving as though in conversation with the wind. Here, the goddess is present not just in the statues, but in every breath, every echo, every small movement of the temple. You watch as a young girl offers a bloom at the altar. Her hands are trembling with careful reverence, and as she steps back, the petals remain, soft and alive in their own quiet way. The goddess accepts the gift without sound. There is no need for words, only the exchange of gentle intention. Here, in this temple, you feel the stillness stretch like warm water around you, carrying all tension away. Stories begin to form as the people gather by fires or under the shade of trees. They speak softly of her, of the mother of rivers, of the moonlit guardian, of the weaver of life and time. Each story folds into the next like soft waves upon the shore, and though the voices are human, the presence behind them is divine. The goddess is in each pause, each smile, each gentle sigh. She is both creator and nurturer, the one who gives form and the one who watches over what she has given. Her hands are in the planting of seeds and the gentle lifting of children. Her gaze is in the quiet star above the night, the moon's soft reflection in water. She teaches that life moves in circles, in patterns as gentle as the turning of a wheel, and that each moment, no matter how small, holds sacred weight. Sometimes, the people imagine her walking through the world, a shadow and a light intertwined. They see her in the flutter of a bird's wing, in the sway of reeds by the river, in the calm of a cloud drifting lazily across the sky. The goddess's presence is never forced, never abrupt. She comes as a soft wind, as a gentle touch, as the quiet warmth beneath your hands when you rest them in the soil or on the cool stone of a temple. At twilight, the temples glow faintly in the golden haze, and a soft chant rises from hidden corners. The voices are low, humming in a rhythm that matches the pulse of the earth. It is not loud, it is not urgent, yet it carries far, weaving through trees and over hills, touching rivers and valleys, and finally returning to the hearts of all who listen. Here, in this gentle sound, you feel the calm that comes from being seen, from being held, from being known by something vast and tender. As the day folds into night, the first fires are lit along the rivers, tiny flames reflected in the calm water. The goddess's presence seems to settle among them, like soft candlelight warming a room. You float among these lights, among these stories, among these small acts of devotion, and your mind feels lighter. Heavy thoughts drift away as if carried by the river itself, leaving only quiet wonder. In these moments, the goddess is not a distant figure on a pedestal. She is a companion in stillness, a keeper of calm, a quiet presence in the soft shared breath of the world. And in this quiet companionship, you feel the first lesson of her light, that peace is always possible, that life's rhythm is gentle, and that even the smallest action, a prayer, a bloom, a whispered thought, carries sacred weight. The stars begin to emerge as night spreads its velvet across the sky. Soft silver light washes over temples, rivers, and fields, turning the world into a space of quiet reflection. And as you drift among these images, the stories of divine women fold around you like a soft blanket. Each whisper, each reflection, each flicker of candlelight invites your body to rest, your mind to float, your heart to calm. Now, let the memory of this first light linger as you breathe slowly and evenly. Feel the gentle warmth of her presence in the quiet of your chest, in the softness of your thoughts, in the tender rhythm of your heartbeat. The rivers continue their soft journey. The temples glow in gentle hues, and the first goddess walks quietly among the world. Her steps as soft as a lullaby. Let us drift onward, carried by the soft winds and gentle light. The goddess watches, calm and tender, as the world breathes in harmony. You float above the rivers, above the hills, above the soft fires of devotion, and feel the lasting comfort of her first light. Now rest, as the stars return to their quiet vigil, and as the goddess herself moves softly among the people she nurtures. Every whisper, every gentle breeze, every flicker of flame holds you in peace. Sleep is near. Let it come, slow and serene, wrapped in the calm of the first light of the goddess. Soft moonlight stretches across the surface of the river, turning every ripple into a thread of silver. The night is gentle, and the air carries the faint scent of reeds and wet earth. You float above the water, moving slowly, weightless, as if the river itself is carrying you. Somewhere upstream, the water hums a quiet song, a melody that has traveled through centuries, across mountains and plains, over villages and silent fields. Long ago, people believed that rivers were alive, that each one held a spirit, a goddess who watched over the flowing waters. She moved with the current, unseen but felt in every wave, every soft splash against the stones. Travelers and villagers left offerings at the riverbank, flowers, small bowls of water, the soft glow of lanterns, and the goddess received them with calm, patient presence. There was no rush, no demand, only the gentle exchange of care and gratitude. You drift closer to a bend where willow branches trail into the water. Their leaves brush the surface, creating tiny ripples that shimmer like tiny lanterns. The goddess is here, in the quiet folds of the river, in the gentle sway of the reeds. She does not speak aloud, yet her presence is a song of serenity, a whisper of protection. The water carries not only the reflection of the moon, but the memory of prayers, the echo of dreams, the tender sighs of the heart. Along the banks, small figures move slowly. A child dips her hands into the cool river, letting the water run through her fingers, and her laughter is soft and musical, blending with the gentle lap of the waves. An elder places a small bowl filled with flowers into the current, watching as it drifts away, carrying the offering to parts unseen. Each movement, each act of devotion, ripples across the water like soft chords in a lullaby. In the myths, the river goddess is both giver and witness. She nourishes the land. She guides the hearts of those who follow her banks. She mirrors the heavens above in her calm surface. Her waters flow through mountains and plains, through quiet forests and hidden valleys, and wherever they touch, she leaves peace in her wake. Even the smallest stone, smoothed by her passage, seems to hum with her quiet power. You follow the river as it winds through the land, its surface reflecting stars like scattered pearls. The goddess moves beneath, her currents gentle and patient. Sometimes a bird dips into the water, creating ripples that vanish slowly. These are like little messages, like tiny bridges between the world above and the goddess's quiet depths. Each ripple carries the soft hum of eternity, reminding you that life flows quietly, steadily, beautifully. Near a small waterfall, the water tumbles over moss-covered stones. It is not loud, not harsh, only a soothing murmur, a gentle percussion that resonates in your chest. The goddess lives in this sound, in the movement that never stops yet never overwhelms. You float closer, letting the mist brush your face, soft as a sigh, and the scent of wet stone and wildflowers calms the mind. Here, every worry, every thought that hums too loudly in your head is washed away. Some tell of the river goddess as a weaver of fates, intertwining lives like threads of water. Travelers crossing her banks would pause, sensing her gaze, feeling her patience. She does not rush, she does not demand. She flows, steady and enduring, through lands and lives, gathering stories as she moves. The river listens to all whispers, hopes, regrets, quiet joys, and in its gentle depths they rest, carried softly to places beyond sight. The villagers speak her name in low tones, as if to avoid disturbing her calm. They know she watches without interference. She is a mother of waters, a keeper of gentle balance. Children dip their toes into the shallows, feeling her presence as a soft embrace. Elderly hands brush the water's surface, letting memories drift downstream, feeling lighter with each passing ripple. The river teaches them that letting go can be tender, that movement need not be hurried. You drift onward, past reeds that sway like dancers in a quiet performance. Fireflies hover above the water, their tiny lights mirrored below, and the goddess smiles in the reflection. The air is cool yet soft, and every breath feels like inhaling calm itself. You follow the current, floating above and beside it, listening to the quiet pulse that seems to match your own heartbeat. Along the shore, small temples appear. They are simple, built of clay and wood, open to the sky with soft mats and low altars. Lanterns flicker inside, their glow dancing on the walls. The goddess is near these sacred spaces, in every reflection on the water, in every soft sway of hanging vines. People gather here, moving slowly, softly, offering flowers and prayers that drift gently into her currents. Each act is an echo of devotion, soft as the rustle of leaves. At twilight, the river takes on a different voice. The sun's last light paints the water in soft pinks and golds, and shadows stretch long and gentle. You drift with the current, feeling the warmth of fading light, the coolness of shadowed pools. The goddess moves with it all, patient and calm, accepting all the prayers and hopes that float in her wake. Each reflection, each ripple, carries the quiet assurance of her care. The river has memory, it seems. It remembers the flowers, the hands, the whispers of travelers long gone. It remembers the gentle rhythm of life and death, of endings and beginnings. And as you follow it, drifting slowly along the bends and curves, you feel that memory touching you, softly like the brush of silk against skin. It reminds you that you are part of a long, enduring flow, carried safely by unseen currents. At night, stars scatter across the sky, and the river mirrors them with delicate ripples. The goddess's voice is in this reflection, quiet and patient. She carries dreams from the villages upstream to the lands downstream, a river of whispered hopes and calm prayers. You feel yourself moving with her, a gentle weightlessness, letting each ripple soothe your mind, each reflection ease your thoughts. Sometimes, the water catches the moonlight, turning it into a soft silver path. You float along this path, your body light, your mind calm. In the stillness, you notice the tiniest movements. A leaf drifting past, a dragonfly skimming the surface, the delicate shimmer of fish beneath the water. Every detail is part of her gentle care, part of the quiet harmony that flows through all things. Soft winds rise from the river, carrying the faint scent of lotus blooms and wet stones. They brush your cheeks and rustle your hair, reminding you of the goddess's presence. She is never far, never hurried. She is always patient, always flowing, always listening. You feel the weight of the day lift. Your thoughts slow and soften as the river carries you onward. And now, as the night deepens, the river moves slower, reflecting the calm of the world around it. Villages rest in silence, the people breathing gently, hearts aligned with the steady pulse of the water. The goddess dwells in this quiet, in the soft hum of life carried downstream, in the gentle folds of the current that touches all things without demand. You float alongside, feeling the soft touch of water against your hands, imagining her presence as warmth in your chest. The river carries stories, yes, but also a quiet assurance that life is moving, flowing, and that even in stillness there is motion. Even in darkness, there is reflection. Every ripple is a whisper of comfort, every current a cradle for dreams. Let your thoughts drift like leaves along the water, soft and free. Let your breath match the gentle rhythm of the river. The goddess moves quietly, but her presence is constant, guiding all that flows. Each reflection on the water, each shimmer of moonlight, is a small reminder that calm and peace are always near, that every hope, every whispered prayer is held tenderly. As dawn approaches, the first light touches the river once again. Soft pinks and golds dance across the water, painting the world in quiet color. The goddess continues her silent journey, carrying dreams from one shore to the next, and you float with her, weightless, heart soft, mind quiet, carried by the gentle, endless flow of sacred waters. Now rest, as the stars return to their silent watch, and the river continues its gentle course. Let the goddess carry your thoughts, your breath, your dreams in the soft currents of her presence. Sleep comes slowly, wrapped in the tender embrace of water and light, and the river moves onward, soft and patient, through lands, through time, through the quiet of your own heart. Let us drift onward. The river speaks, and you float, calm and steady, carried through the night in its eternal, gentle song. Night settles softly over the forest. The trees stand tall, their leaves whispering in a gentle wind that moves like silk through the branches. Moonlight filters down, spilling silver across the forest floor, pooling in quiet corners and dancing along the edges of fallen leaves. You float among the shadows, weightless, carried by the calm rhythm of night. The world is hushed, and even the smallest sounds feel sacred. Along a narrow path, the soft figure of a priestess appears. Her robe sways quietly with each step, brushing the moss-covered stones beneath her feet. Her presence is calm, like the slow movement of a river, and each motion is measured, deliberate, yet gentle. She carries nothing loud or heavy, only a small bowl of water, a few petals, and the quiet power of her devotion. In ancient times, these priestesses were bridges between the human world and the divine. They moved through forests and groves, through temples hidden by time and trees, offering blessings and rituals that brought calm, protection, and guidance. Every action, every soft chant, was a thread woven into the larger fabric of the world. You follow her steps as she approaches a clearing. The moonlight shines brightest here, spilling over a circle of stones that mark a sacred space. She kneels, placing her bowl and petals carefully upon the earth. The forest seems to pause, leaves holding their breath, as if the very trees honor the ritual. The air carries the faint scent of incense, or perhaps the natural fragrance of the moss and flowers, mingling softly in the night. She begins to chant, her voice low and soothing. The words move slowly, curling through the clearing, brushing against tree trunks, echoing softly across the undergrowth. The sound is like water flowing over smooth stones, gentle and steady. You float in the cadence of her voice, each syllable a soft pulse that eases tension, quiets racing thoughts, and carries the listener deeper into stillness. Rituals are not loud or demanding. They are soft movements, mindful gestures that honor life and the cycles of nature. The priestess dips her hands into the bowl of water, letting droplets fall over the circle of stones. Each drop is a quiet blessing, a small ripple in the calm of night. You feel the resonance of each motion, a gentle vibration that travels through the air, through the soil, through your own quiet heart. The forest seems alive with her presence. Tiny creatures move quietly among the underbrush. An owl glides overhead, wings silent against the cool night air. Fireflies shimmer like scattered stars, floating softly above the moss and leaves. The priestess lifts her hands, letting the light of the moon wash over her palms, and the forest seems to breathe with her, a slow, meditative pulse of calm. You watch as she moves from stone to stone, her fingers tracing small patterns in the earth. Each gesture carries intention, soft as a sigh yet filled with quiet power. She is not hurried, not demanding. She is present fully, offering her energy in a slow, deliberate dance that touches the sacred spaces of the world. The people of her time felt this calm as a gift. Villagers would leave offerings along the edges of the forest, petals, small bowls, simple tokens of gratitude. The priestess would receive them silently, acknowledging each with a gentle nod, a whisper of blessing carried on the wind. There was no loud ceremony here, no need for spectacle. The ritual was the stillness itself, the tender weaving of presence into the world. The moon climbs higher, and the silver light seems to gather around the priestess, creating a halo that moves with her. She hums now, a sound softer than a whisper, vibrating through the ground and the trees. It is a melody of calm, a gentle reminder that life is held in quiet cycles. The leaves sway. The river beyond the trees reflects her light, and the entire forest seems to lean into the hush she creates. She kneels again, placing her hands over the petals she laid out earlier. The gesture is both blessing and gratitude, a soft acknowledgement of the earth and all it holds. You feel the gentle energy in this motion, a warmth that rises slowly, fills the chest, and settles deep into the body. Each movement, each hum, is a soft caress of the world itself. Birds, now resting in the higher branches, seem to listen. Even the smallest rustle of leaves carries meaning, a conversation held in silence between the priestess and the forest. The wind moves gently, not pushing, not harsh, only brushing against the robes, the petals, and the soft curve of the earth. You float along, feeling each detail, aware of the sacred rhythm of life that flows here in quiet waves. The priestess stands slowly, letting her gaze drift over the clearing. Her hands lift to the sky, palms open. The moonlight spills over her, soft and silver, as if bathing her in calm. She closes her eyes, and the hum of her presence spreads outward. A slow, gentle vibration that touches every leaf, every stone, every living creature in the vicinity. Here is the lesson of the priestess. Presence is power, and quiet is strength. You notice the smallest details now. A dewdrop trembling on a leaf, the faint shimmer of a spider's web, the soft ripple of a hidden stream. Each carries the same quiet energy, the same tender attention that the priestess embodies. She is a reminder that the divine moves in small gestures, in soft hands, in the patience of night. She moves to the edge of the clearing, where the forest thickens. Her steps are careful, soft against the moss and fallen leaves. She bends to brush her fingers against the bark of an ancient tree, a silent blessing whispered into the grain. The tree seems to respond with a slow shiver, leaves rustling in quiet acknowledgement. You float beside her, carried in the same gentle rhythm, feeling the sacred presence in each motion. As the night deepens, the priestess reaches a small stream. The water moves slowly, reflecting the moon and stars above. She kneels, letting her hands glide through the surface. Small ripples spread outward, soft and serene. You sense that the water holds memory, that it carries the whispers of countless prayers and blessings. Each ripple touches the earth, the air, and your own quiet mind, leaving traces of calm in every space it reaches. Sometimes, in the stories of old, the priestess is said to move between worlds, guiding souls, offering comfort and easing burdens. Her movements are slow, deliberate, a dance of gentle care. You feel yourself carried by her rhythm, floating lightly, body relaxed, thoughts softening. As the night wraps around you like a quiet blanket, she hums once more, letting the sound drift through the forest. The wind carries it, curling around tree trunks, flowing over streams, brushing the faces of sleeping animals. It is not loud, not demanding. It is a soft invitation to rest, to breathe, to release the tensions of day and enter the stillness of night. You feel the calm seep into your bones, each inhale slower, each exhale deeper. The moon now hangs high, a silver guardian over the forest. Shadows stretch long and soft, pooling in quiet corners. The priestess sits upon a smooth stone, her hands resting gently in her lap. Her eyes are closed, yet her awareness touches everything around her. You float nearby, sensing the peace she offers, the gentle harmony she brings, and your thoughts drift like leaves on the stream of her presence. Fireflies hover nearby, their light flickering softly, small stars at ground level. You notice the tiny sounds, a twig falling, a leaf brushing another, the soft hum of distant insects. All are part of the rhythm, all part of the sacred melody the priestess creates. She is not commanding the night. She is moving with it, flowing in quiet collaboration with life itself. And now, as the first hints of dawn begin to soften the darkness, the priestess rises. She lifts her hands, letting the last drops of moonlight touch her palms, and offers a final blessing to the forest. Each tree, each stone, each creature seems to sigh in response, a quiet note of harmony that fills the space. You float in this peace, feeling it settle deeply, gently, as the night transitions toward day. The priestess walks slowly back along the path she came, her movements as soft as a sigh. Her presence lingers, not as a memory, but as a gentle echo in the air, in the leaves, in the small currents of the forest. You feel yourself carried along this echo, heart soft, mind calm, body weightless. Sleep draws nearer, quiet and steady, guided by the rhythm she leaves behind. Let us drift onward, following her gentle steps, her soft chants, her quiet blessings. The forest breathes with her, the streams reflect her light, and your own heartbeat slows to match the cadence of this sacred night. Now rest as the stars return to their watch, and as the moon smiles softly on the priestesses who move quietly among the world. Sleep comes slowly, wrapped in the gentle embrace of silver light, soft winds, and tender ritual. The priestess is with you still, her calm presence lingering like a whispered lullaby in the heart. Twilight drifts slowly over the land. The horizon is painted in soft shades of rose and gray, and the first stars begin to shimmer quietly in the deepening sky. You float above a valley where stone temples rise, ancient and still, their surfaces catching the last light like calm reflections in a river. There is no sound except the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of a night bird. The air is cool and soft, carrying the faint scent of stone warmed by day, and the subtle fragrance of wildflowers growing at the temple's edge. These temples were built to honor divine women, guardians of life, wisdom, and the unseen forces that move gently through the world. The walls are carved with delicate symbols, spirals of water, crescents of the moon, the curve of a mother's hand holding a child. Each design speaks of reverence, not in loud proclamation, but in the soft, enduring language of devotion. Every curve and line is a whisper of care, an echo of quiet worship. You drift along a long stone walkway leading to the main temple hall. The path is lined with small torches that have been extinguished for the night. Shadows play across the carved surfaces, tracing patterns in silver and gray. The The silence here is alive. It is not empty. It hums softly like the slow beating of a heart. It carries the memory of footsteps, of prayers, of hands lifted in blessing, and it invites you to breathe slowly, letting each exhale carry away the weight of thought. Inside the temple, the air is cool and calm. Light from the moon spills through narrow windows, pooling on the stone floor in quiet shapes. The walls are smooth in some places, carved in others, holding depictions of goddesses with gentle gazes and open hands. Their forms are not demanding. They do not call loudly for attention. Instead, they invite stillness, offering the quiet comfort of presence. You feel the pull of this calm, a gentle draw into a space where nothing needs to move quickly and nothing is expected. At the center of the hall is a low altar, simple and serene. A single bowl rests upon it, filled with water that reflects the moonlight in slow ripples. The air is heavy with the faint scent of incense, or perhaps it is the natural smell of the stone, deep and grounding. You notice small carvings around the altar, the shapes of flowers, stars, and flowing rivers, all etched carefully by hands long gone. They speak of care, of attention, of devotion that lasts beyond the measure of a human lifetime. The temple is a sanctuary, not of words, but of presence. You drift softly through its spaces, noticing the echo of every step, every shift of air, every brush of wind through open doors. Outside, the trees sway quietly, their leaves murmuring against the stone. The temple absorbs the sounds and returns only the gentlest of echoes, softening the world, smoothing the edges of thought, calming the mind. In ancient times, priestesses walked these halls at dawn and dusk, their robes flowing silently, their hands carrying bowls of water, petals, or incense. They did not speak loudly. They did not need to. Their gestures, slow and deliberate, were prayers in motion. The sound of a soft step on stone, the hum of a low chant, the gentle placement of a flower upon an altar, these were the languages of devotion. Here silence was not absence. It was presence. It was sacred. You notice a small side chamber where a goddess is carved into the wall, her eyes closed, her hands resting over her chest. The carving is old, worn smooth by countless hands brushing against it in reverence. You float closer, feeling the quiet warmth of devotion lingering in the stone. Every line, every curve seems to pulse softly with memory. You sense the countless prayers offered here, soft and persistent, like drops of water wearing away stone slowly, gently, shaping the sacred over time. The temple steps lead upward to a rooftop terrace, where the sky opens wide and the stars shine brighter. The world feels infinite here, the quiet of the temple stretching into the vastness above. You drift slowly across the stone, noticing the soft curves, the weathered edges, the patches of moss that grow where water has lingered. Even in its stillness, the temple breathes, alive with memory, with ritual, with the soft energy of devotion carried over centuries. Soft wind brushes past, carrying the scent of flowers from distant gardens, and for a moment, you feel the presence of the priestesses who once walked these halls. They move silently, hands lifted in blessing, voices a quiet hum that blends with the temple walls. You follow them in spirit, drifting alongside their slow movements, feeling the gentle rhythm of ritual and devotion. Here, there is no hurry, no rush, only the patient unfolding of reverence. The silence teaches patience. It teaches the beauty of quiet observation, of waiting without urgency. You float among the halls, touching nothing yet feeling everything. The cool stone beneath imagined fingers, the faint vibrations of footsteps long past, the soft brushing of the air. The goddess is everywhere here, not only in the carvings, but in the very presence of stillness, in the calm that stretches across the temple floor and beyond the walls into the night. Some temples were built near rivers, others atop hills, others in hidden groves where only the most attentive could find them. They shared a single quality: silence was devotion. Visitors and worshippers approached quietly, bowing low, leaving offerings without fanfare, speaking softly to the air or to the water, or not at all. Every gesture, every breath was a prayer. You float beside them now, drifting slowly along a quiet corridor, feeling the soft hum of collective reverence. Outside, the moon has climbed higher. Its silver light spills across the temple, catching the edges of statues, illuminating pathways and casting long, calm shadows. You notice a small fountain in the courtyard, its water moving slowly, quietly, reflecting the night sky in gentle ripples. The goddess of the temple is here, in the water, in the stone, in the soft exhalation of wind through leaves. Each element carries her presence, subtle and unassuming, yet complete in its serenity. The priestesses would circle the fountain at night, offering flowers, gently dipping their fingers into the cool water, letting it spill back into the basin. Their movements were precise and slow, each one a soft chant of devotion, a tender acknowledgement of the divine. You drift alongside, weightless, aware of the delicate rhythm of ritual, of the slow pulse of life in stone and water, in earth and air, in shadow and moonlight. The temples hold history, yes, but also a living quiet. You sense it in the stones, in the air, in the faint traces of footsteps long past. Even the smallest movements carry the energy of calm, teaching that reverence is not loud or forceful, but patient, deliberate, soft. You float among this energy, allowing it to seep into your own body. Slow your breath, soften your thoughts, and calm your mind. A soft bell tolls in the distance, carried by the wind, barely audible, but enough to mark the passage of time. You drift through the temple halls, past carved niches, past empty altars, past quiet courtyards. The bell is a reminder of stillness, of focus, of the tender care that each priestess gave in her own quiet way. You feel the calm settle deeper, your body weightless, your mind quiet, your heart at ease. At the highest chamber, the temple opens to the night sky. Stars shimmer above, reflected in polished stone and quiet pools of water. You float here, weightless and serene, feeling the energy of centuries of devotion, the slow, steady presence of divine women whose images and memory fill this sacred space. The temple itself breathes with a quiet rhythm, inviting you to rest, to drift, to release all tension. Let the silence envelop you. Let the cool stone, the gentle air, the faint shimmer of moonlight cradle your thoughts. Here there is no rush, no urgency, only the calm pulse of devotion, the soft continuity of worship, the enduring presence of the divine in quiet gestures. You float through this space, each step, each breath, each moment a soft embrace of stillness as the night deepens. The temples lie calm, stones warmed slightly by the lingering day, air carrying the faint scent of incense or earth. You float along quiet corridors, past silent halls, past the gentle curve of carved hands and flowing robes. The goddess is here, not commanding, not demanding, only present. Her presence is soft and steady, like the gentle exhalation of wind through the trees, like the slow pulse of water in a hidden fountain. Now, let your own breath fall into rhythm with the quiet. Feel your heart soften, your muscles relax, your mind calm. Let the temples hold you. The stones, the carvings, the silent courtyards, drift slowly through the cool halls, carried by the rhythm of centuries of devotion. Let every echo, every shadow, every quiet reflection soothe and comfort. Let us drift onward, through corridors of stone, past silent altars, beneath carved gazes of divine women, carried by the gentle rhythm of their timeless presence. Now rest, as the stars return to their watch, and the temples of silence hold you in calm, soft, enduring embrace. Twilight stretches softly across the sky, painting it in gentle hues of lavender and gold. The air is cool, filled with the faint scent of wildflowers and the distant hush of forests settling into night. You drift through this calm world, weightless as if walking on air, carried by the soft rhythm of the universe. Above, the first stars shimmer quietly, tiny lanterns of memory, guiding your gaze and your thoughts toward gentle wonder. In the myths of old, there are goddesses who dwell not in stone or rivers, but in the delicate spaces between moments. They are the weavers of destiny, spinning threads of light that stretch across the world, connecting lives, hearts, and dreams. These threads are neither heavy nor harsh. They are soft as silk, glowing faintly, visible only to those who move with gentle attention. You float near these strands, feeling their warmth, their quiet pull, the subtle way they guide every motion without force. The weaving happens in silence. The goddess sits in a quiet chamber, surrounded by luminous threads that twist and curl like mist in the morning sun. Each thread is a life, a story, a journey unfolding. She moves her fingers slowly, deliberately, brushing one thread against another, letting colors blend and patterns emerge. Her hands are light, careful, almost weightless, Yet the threads respond fully, bending, twisting, and forming connections that carry unseen meaning. You drift closer, noticing how the threads shimmer with soft light, as though each carries the memory of countless moments. A child's laugh, a flower opening in the sun, the quiet sigh of a heart relieved of worry. The goddess watches without haste, attending to each thread with patience that stretches beyond time. There is no urgency here, no demand, only the gentle care of a being who understands the quiet interconnection of all life. The threads move like water, flowing in patterns that are never chaotic, only subtle. One thread curves to meet another, and a soft pulse of energy passes between them. You sense the delicate balance, the tender harmony. Every action, every thought, every breath of life is a strand woven carefully into the whole. You float through this web, weightless, aware of the threads brushing past you like soft silk scarves carried on a slow wind. The goddess hums quietly, a sound that ripples through the chamber, echoing softly against unseen walls. Her voice is not a command, it is a song of patience, a lullaby for the strands themselves. You feel the vibration in your chest, a soothing warmth that spreads gently through your body, releasing tension, calming thought, and slowing the rhythm of your mind. Every exhale is deeper, every inhale softer. Sometimes a thread catches the faintest light of a distant star, glimmering like silver in the dim room. It represents a heart, a life, a journey unfolding. The goddess brushes her fingers across it, guiding it gently toward another, and a connection forms, a quiet meeting, unseen but deeply felt. You float alongside, sensing the subtle patterns, the tender bridges created between lives. Each connection is a blessing, each crossing a quiet acknowledgement of the divine care that moves through all things. In some stories, the weaver sits atop a hill or in a hidden glade, her loom invisible to all but those who truly pay attention. The threads stretch out across valleys and rivers, forests and deserts, carrying quiet intention to the farthest reaches. A bird resting in a nearby tree feels the vibration of a thread passing overhead, a subtle touch that influences its flight. A river bends gently, guided by a strand that threads beneath its surface. All life participates in the web, often without knowing, yet always part of the pattern. You notice that the threads are not rigid. They sway, curl, and intertwine with gentle freedom. They are not bound, not tense, but soft and responsive. The goddess attends to them with quiet devotion, ensuring that each connection flows smoothly, that each life can move with grace. Her presence is steady, constant, like the slow turning of the stars above. You float in this calm, letting her rhythm settle your mind and body alike. Sometimes, a thread becomes tangled, and the goddess pauses, letting her hands linger, smoothing it with infinite patience. There is no rush, no alarm, only the soft persistence of care, the deliberate motion of fingers that know the value of every delicate strand. The tangles unravel slowly, effortlessly, and you watch them soften into flowing light once more. It is a reminder that life itself unfolds gently when attended to with calm, deliberate love. Outside, the world is quiet, bathed in twilight and moonlight. Trees sway softly in the evening breeze, rivers move silently through valleys, and distant hills hold shadows that stretch slowly, long, and calm. You float above this landscape, sensing the threads of destiny weaving through it all, connecting hearts, minds, and dreams. The goddess does not hurry. She moves with the pace of night, of moonlight, of life itself. The strands glow faintly as they cross and intertwine, soft ribbons of light guiding steps, thoughts, and choices. A young woman walking along a quiet path unknowingly follows one, guided gently toward her destiny. A traveler rests by a stream, unaware that a thread carries comfort and insight to them in a delicate, unseen way. All is connected. All is gentle. All is part of the quiet web of care that the goddess maintains. You drift deeper into the chamber, past the low hum of threads rubbing softly against one another, past the subtle shimmer of silk light weaving through the air. You feel yourself drawn into the rhythm of the weaving, each breath aligning with the movement of her hands. Every thought slows, every heartbeat settles into calm. Here the web of destiny is not a burden, but a lullaby, a gentle embrace that reminds you of connection and harmony. The goddess occasionally lifts a thread toward the sky, letting it catch the first light of the moon or a passing star. It glows softly, sending quiet energy through all connected strands. You sense how carefully she chooses the paths, not with force, but with grace, allowing life to unfold naturally while holding the strands in tender attention. The glow of the threads is not bright or demanding, only warm, comforting, and steady, like a small lantern guiding the way through quiet night. Some strands pass over mountains, through villages, along rivers, connecting lives without interruption. You float along one such thread, feeling its soft pulse, the gentle guidance it provides, the care embedded in its flow. A child laughs somewhere downstream. A bird takes flight. A flower blooms. Each ripple in life resonates with the gentle weaving of the goddess, subtle but present, soft but steady. The chamber seems endless, filled with threads that twist and curve, glowing faintly, whispering across time and space. You drift through them, weightless, each thread brushing your skin like soft silk, each pulse vibrating gently against your heart. Here there is no rush, no urgency, only calm, patient movement, only the quiet knowledge that all is interconnected. All is held, all is safe, and now as the night deepens, the threads glow a little brighter in the moonlight, reflecting on your closed eyelids, your relaxed body, your calm mind. The goddess moves slowly among them, her hands brushing each thread, smoothing the flow, connecting hearts with care, weaving destinies with gentle attention. You feel yourself aligned with her rhythm, drifting peacefully through the web of life, every strand a soft embrace, every crossing a gentle lullaby. Let the threads carry your thoughts, your breath, your dreams. Float among the strands, weightless and calm. Each pulse is a reminder that life is interconnected, that even the smallest gesture, the quietest thought, the softest touch resonates across the web. The goddess moves slowly, unhurried, her rhythm syncing with your own, guiding you gently into stillness, into serenity, into sleep. Let us drift onward, along threads of light, past gentle connections, past flowing strands of destiny, soft and steady, until rest fills your mind completely. Now rest, as the stars return to their watch, and as the weaver of destiny holds you in her quiet, gentle embrace. The desert stretches endlessly beneath a sky fading from amber to deep indigo. You float gently above it, feeling the soft warmth of sand cooled by twilight. The horizon is wide and still, carrying the quiet hush of distant dunes. The air is dry but gentle, brushing softly against your skin, carrying faint scents of sage and sun-warmed stone. The first stars begin to glimmer overhead, each one a quiet lantern in the vastness of night. In these lands, myths speak of goddesses who walk slowly beneath the sky, their steps leaving faint traces in the sand. They move without hurry, their presence calm and luminous, as if each breath carries the memory of countless nights and the wisdom of time itself. You drift beside them, weightless, feeling the quiet rhythm of patience in every movement, in every gentle sweep of their robes. The goddesses are guardians of the desert, not through force, but through quiet presence. Their eyes reflect the constellations, and their hands trace soft patterns in the sand, spirals, circles, lines that echo the paths of stars above. Each gesture is a teaching, a soft whisper of resilience, a reminder that life moves with subtle grace, even in the most arid and challenging lands. You drift along a narrow valley where dunes rise and fall like the slow waves of a silent ocean. The goddess walks ahead, her feet leaving shallow impressions that the wind will soon soften. Yet, those faint traces are enough to guide you, enough to remind you of steady progress, of calm persistence, of gentle resilience. You feel your own heartbeat slow as you match her rhythm, step for step, breath for breath. At the edge of a small oasis, moonlight shimmers across the water, turning it silver and still. The goddess pauses here, lowering her hand to the surface, sending soft ripples across the pool. The movement is slow, deliberate, almost ritualistic. Each ripple reflects the stars above, and you see the delicate connection between sky and earth, between light and reflection, between thought and action. All is soft, all is deliberate, all is serene. The desert is a space of silence and patience. Sand shifts slowly under the influence of wind, carving new forms while holding on to traces of what has passed. You notice the subtle patterns left by animals, by passing winds, by wandering goddesses. Each imprint carries meaning, though quiet and understated. The goddesses themselves move in harmony with this flow, teaching that even in emptiness, there is guidance, beauty, and order. You float alongside one goddess as she raises her arms to the sky. The stars above seem to respond, twinkling more brightly, casting silver light across dunes and rocks. She traces constellations with her fingers, connecting them with invisible threads that pulse softly with light. Each thread carries a story, a gentle lesson, a reminder that even the smallest spark can illuminate the darkness. You feel these threads brushing past you, carrying calm, carrying wisdom, carrying soft reassurance. The wind rises, a gentle caress across the dunes. It carries faint sounds, the rustle of dry grasses, the soft shift of sand, the quiet murmur of distant night creatures. The goddess moves with the wind, her robes flowing, her hands tracing slow circles in the air. Every motion is meditative, deliberate, and full of luminous calm. You feel the rhythm of her movement enter your body, guiding your breath, quieting your thoughts, easing your mind toward rest. You notice her eyes, calm and steady, reflecting the vastness of the desert sky. They hold the light of the stars, the memory of the dunes, the gentle persistence of time. There is no urgency in her gaze, only patient understanding. You float near her, sensing the quiet strength she carries, the luminous peace that comes from moving slowly, living softly and observing carefully. In the myths, these goddesses wander not alone but with companions unseen, spirits of wind, of sand, of night creatures, all moving in harmony with the sacred calm. You drift among them, weightless, feeling the gentle touch of their presence. A small fox crosses the sand, its steps light and measured, as if guided by the same invisible rhythm that guides the goddess. A distant owl calls softly, its sound carrying across the dunes like a lullaby. The goddess bends to gather a handful of sand, letting it trickle slowly through her fingers. Each grain glows faintly, catching the moonlight, carrying the quiet history of the desert. She releases it back to the earth, and the sand disperses in soft, undulating patterns. You watch it drift, letting your mind follow each grain as it settles, as if every small motion carries a quiet lesson in patience and care. You float past a ridge of dunes where the wind creates soft ripples, each one like a brushstroke across a silent canvas. The goddess moves along the ridge, her hands tracing arcs above the sand, smoothing some ripples, leaving others untouched. The patterns are imperfect yet beautiful, deliberate yet free. You feel a deep calm settle over you, a soft reassurance that imperfection holds its own quiet perfection. The night stretches on. The desert seems endless, yet you feel no unease. The vast silence is comforting, like a gentle hug, holding you softly in its arms. Stars above seem to dance in slow arcs, reflected faintly in the sand below. You drift closer to the goddess as she pauses atop a small dune, gazing at the horizon. She lifts a hand and the sky seems to respond, stars pulsing softly, guiding the eye toward distant constellations. Each pulse is a heartbeat of the universe, quiet and rhythmic. Soft light flows along the dunes, highlighting curves and valleys, catching the edges of stones and plants that cling to life. The goddess walks among them, her steps careful, her attention full, her presence steady. You follow in silence, each step a gentle echo of patience, each breath a reflection of calm. The desert teaches endurance, the stars teach reflection, and the goddess teaches luminous quiet. The wind brushes your skin again, carrying faint whispers, perhaps old prayers, perhaps the quiet voice of nature itself. You feel the connection between sand, sky, stars, and goddess. Everything is part of a gentle, slow-moving rhythm. Every ripple in the dunes, every twinkle in the sky, every brush of wind is a soft reminder of presence, of resilience, of quiet light that persists even in empty spaces. You drift beside the goddess as she kneels at the edge of a small crater filled with sand. She traces patterns in the grains with her fingertips, forming spirals, lines, and arcs. The patterns glow faintly under the moonlight, each one carrying a story of endurance, of gentle guidance, of quiet influence over time. You float closer, letting the softness of these movements settle your own thoughts, your own breath, your own heartbeat. In the distance, you see a caravan of travelers moving slowly across the dunes. They follow paths traced by invisible threads, guided by the subtle light of stars and the quiet influence of the goddess. Their movement is deliberate, unhurried, aligned with the rhythms of the land. You sense the connection, the careful guidance, the luminous path that carries life forward. Even across vast emptiness, the goddess rises, brushing sand from her robes, and stretches her arms toward the sky. A gentle pulse spreads through the desert, soft and slow, like a heartbeat echoing across the dunes. You feel it in your chest, in your limbs, in your breath. The rhythm is steady, calm, infinite. You drift with it, weightless, allowing the quiet to fill every space within you. The stars above grow brighter, the night air stills, and the goddess's presence becomes a gentle hum in the quiet. Her luminous calm surrounds you, filling every corner of the desert with serene light. You float through dunes and valleys, past silent stones, past ripples in the sand, past soft reflections of stars in pools of moonlight. Everything is slow, everything is gentle, everything is held. Now let your own breath match the rhythm of the desert, the sway of the dunes, the quiet pulse of the stars. Feel the calm settle in your chest, your limbs, your mind. Let the luminous presence of the goddess move through you, her soft guidance, her patient care, her endless quiet. Drift slowly, gently, peacefully, knowing that even in stillness, all is alive, all is connected, all is held in tender light. Let us drift onward, through endless dunes, beneath the glow of countless stars, alongside the gentle steps of divine women, carried by soft winds and luminous quiet. Now rest as the desert sleeps beneath the moon, and the goddess's calm presence holds you in serene, timeless embrace. Twilight settles softly over the hidden garden, where shadows stretch like slow, tender fingers across mossy stones and winding paths. The air is warm and fragrant, carrying the gentle perfume of blooming flowers, jasmine, lavender, and night-blooming lilies. You float quietly along the stone path, feeling the soft brush of leaves against your skin, the delicate rustle of petals stirred by a gentle breeze. Above, stars begin to peek through the deepening sky, faint lanterns reflected in the quiet pools of water that mirror the heavens. In these gardens, myths speak of goddesses who tend both the earth and the spirit. Their hands brush lightly over blossoms and branches, coaxing growth with patient care. They move slowly, deliberately, listening to the soft language of leaves and water. Each step is measured, each breath harmonious with the rhythms of life. You drift beside them, weightless, feeling the gentle pull of calm with every motion, every quiet gesture. The garden is alive, yet serene. Water trickles softly from a hidden spring, its sound like a lullaby flowing over moss-covered stones. Flowers lean gently toward it, petals opening in silent gratitude. You watch as a goddess kneels beside the stream, her fingers skimming the water's surface, sending tiny ripples outward. Each ripple glows faintly, catching the reflection of moonlight, carrying soft energy into the garden. You float near, feeling the gentle pulse of life echoing in the rhythm of the flowing water. Birds, quiet and observant, perch on branches above, their feathers catching the moonlight. They move without alarm, their wings folding softly as they listen to the goddess's presence. A small deer steps through the foliage, careful and slow, guided by the unseen threads of the garden's calm. All life here moves in gentle harmony, guided not by urgency, but by the luminous quiet of the divine care that surrounds it. The goddess walks along a stone path lined with blossoms. Each flower seems to respond to her presence, opening slightly, bending gently in the soft breeze she carries. Her hands trace arcs in the air above the petals, leaving trails of soft light that linger briefly before fading into the calm night. You float beside her, feeling the subtle warmth of the light, the serene patience in her movement, the unhurried flow of life she encourages. Soft candlelight glows in small alcoves tucked among the trees and shrubs. The flames flicker gently, reflecting in the quiet pools and on the smooth stones, casting gentle shadows that sway like slow dancers. You sense the presence of the garden itself as a living entity, breathing softly, moving with subtle rhythm, its calm mirrored in the goddess's gentle steps. Each movement, each breath, is a reminder that growth and care happen slowly, with love, and without hurry. In the heart of the garden lies a grove of ancient trees, their branches intertwined like protective arms over a soft carpet of moss. The goddess pauses here, resting her hands lightly on a trunk, feeling the pulse of centuries in its bark. She hums quietly, a low, melodic sound that flows through the leaves and into the earth. You drift closer, letting the vibration settle your own heartbeat, easing tension and bringing a deep, nurturing calm. Soft winds stir, carrying the scent of earth and flowers. Petals drift slowly through the air, landing gently on the garden paths and on small pools of water. You float among them, noticing how each petal glows faintly in the candlelight and moonlight, a quiet reminder of delicate beauty and transient grace. The goddess moves among these drifting petals, her fingers brushing them lightly, guiding their fall with gentle attention. As though each small motion carries meaning and care, the garden is filled with quiet corners and hidden alcoves, places for reflection and gentle communion with life. A small bench rests beneath a flowering arbor, vines curling slowly around its frame. You drift toward it, noticing the serene patterns of light and shadow dancing across the seat. Here, the goddess pauses, allowing the gentle rustle of leaves and the soft sound of water to fill the space. You feel a deep calm settle over you, as if the garden itself is wrapping you in a tender embrace. Soft sounds continue, the murmur of water over stones, the faint tapping of branches in the wind, the quiet hum of nocturnal insects. Each sound is gentle, rhythmic, soothing. You notice the goddess's movements mirror the subtle rhythms of the garden. Slow, deliberate, patient. She tends the plants with care, her hands gliding over leaves and stems, brushing lightly across petals, encouraging growth without force, allowing life to unfold naturally. You drift past a circular pool surrounded by reeds and lilies. The goddess kneels beside it, releasing small blossoms onto the surface. They float, drifting slowly with the currents, catching the glow of the moon and the soft light of nearby candles. Each blossom seems to carry a quiet message: patience, reflection, gentle growth. You float closer, letting the serene energy of the floating flowers calm your thoughts, slow your breath, and ease the rhythm of your heartbeat. In the deeper parts of the garden, hidden paths wind through dense foliage, leading to quiet groves and secret springs. The goddess moves along these paths with ease, her steps soft and deliberate, her presence guiding not just the plants but the very air itself. You follow silently, noticing how the light filters through the branches, casting soft patterns on the moss and stones. Every shadow and glimmer feels like a slow, rhythmic meditation, inviting your mind to drift into gentle stillness. The goddesses are said to nurture not only flora, but the spirit. As you drift among the blossoms, among the soft murmur of water and rustle of leaves, you feel a tender calm entering your heart. Each breath carries the quiet wisdom of the garden, the lesson of slow growth, the gentle persistence of life, the soft embrace of patience. You float, weightless, allowing these lessons to settle gently, unfurling within you like petals opening in moonlight. Occasionally, a firefly glows faintly, its light flickering gently in the cool night air. The goddess raises a hand, tracing slow arcs through the garden, guiding the fireflies in soft circles above flowers and pools. You drift with them, feeling the soft warmth of their glow, the gentle rhythm of their movement, and the luminous calm they bring. All of it, the petals, the water, the fireflies, the wind, the goddess, moves in quiet harmony, inviting you to rest deeply and peacefully. A distant owl calls softly, its voice echoing across the hidden groves. The sound is not startling, only calm and melodic, blending seamlessly with the rustle of leaves and the whisper of water. You notice how the goddess pauses to listen, her presence perfectly attuned to the subtle symphony of the garden. You float beside her, allowing your own senses to attune to this quiet music. Your mind slowing, your body sinking into deep, gentle calm. The night deepens and the moon rises higher, casting soft silver light across the garden. Shadows lengthen and soften, wrapping the trees, stones, and blossoms in a tender glow. The goddess walks slowly among the paths, her steps unhurried, each motion deliberate yet gentle, reflecting the rhythm of life in the sacred space. You float alongside her, weightless, embraced by the calm, surrounded by the serene beauty of the garden, carried into a quiet, peaceful stillness. Now, let your own breath follow the rhythm of the garden, slow, steady, and calm. Feel the warmth of moonlight on your skin, the soft scent of blossoms, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the quiet flow of water. Let the presence of the goddess, the luminous calm of the sacred garden, and the tender rhythm of life itself fill every part of you. Drift softly, deeply, peacefully, knowing that here, in this hidden garden of spirit, all is calm, all is gentle, and all is safe. Let us drift onward, past fragrant blossoms, along softly rippling pools, beneath the luminous glow of moonlight and stars. Now rest as the garden breathes quietly around you, and the goddess's calm presence holds you in serene, timeless embrace. Twilight drifts gently across a still lake, its surface smooth as glass, reflecting the first twinkling stars above. You float lightly above the water, feeling the soft hush of evening wrap around you like a gentle shawl. The air is cool, scented faintly with blooming reeds and the damp earth along the shore. Soft ripples move across the lake as the wind brushes tenderly against the surface, carrying with it the quiet music of distant bells, faint and rhythmic. In this serene place, myths speak of oracles who listen to the hidden currents of the world. They moved without haste, their presence calm and luminous, like gentle lanterns guiding those who sought wisdom. Each breath they took seemed to harmonize with the water, the wind, and the stars, creating a rhythm that soothed both the earth and the soul. You drift closer, weightless, carried by the soft cadence of their presence. The oracle walks slowly along a narrow path lined with silver reeds, their tops swaying in the faint breeze. Her feet brush lightly against the soft earth, leaving no mark, yet a quiet energy follows in her wake. Her voice, barely more than a whisper, seems to carry across the water. Each word is like a feather drifting over the lake, resonating with gentle purpose. You hear the cadence as it rises and falls, a lullaby of prophecy and peace. Soft candlelight glows in small alcoves along the shore. The flames flicker gently, reflecting on the rippling surface of the lake. You notice the oracle pausing near one of these lights, her hands lifted slightly, fingertips tracing invisible patterns in the air. Each gesture sends faint waves across the water, waves that shimmer under moonlight, carrying the quiet messages of her soft voice to every corner of the serene space. The reeds rustle as nocturnal creatures stir, yet all sounds are gentle, unobtrusive. Frogs call softly from hidden pools, their voices low and rhythmic, blending seamlessly with the oracle's whispers. Small fish glide beneath the water's surface, their movements smooth and deliberate, echoing the calm that permeates the lake. You drift among them, weightless, letting the serenity seep into your limbs, your chest, your mind. Above, the sky is a deep indigo, stars reflected faintly in the still waters. The oracle lifts her hands toward the heavens, tracing arcs that seem to connect the stars with the lake below. You sense that each motion carries a quiet lesson, a soft guidance, a reminder that life flows in gentle cycles, unseen yet steady, like water moving silently beneath the surface. You feel your breath align with her movements, slow and even, matching the calm rhythm of this sacred night. You drift along a narrow wooden pier, its planks worn smooth by centuries of quiet footsteps. The oracle kneels at the edge, letting her hands hover above the water. Her whispers rise and fall, moving like gentle waves across the lake. You notice the words carry light, soft, luminous, subtle, painting the night with quiet wisdom. Each phrase is a thread, weaving connections between stars, water, and soul. You float closer, feeling these threads brush past you, settling softly, cradling your thoughts into stillness. A gentle mist begins to rise from the lake, curling over the surface like slow silver smoke. The oracle stands, her robes flowing softly in the light breeze. She moves through the mist as if floating, every step deliberate, every gesture a meditation. Her voice continues, a soft, unhurried melody, echoing across the water and into the reeds. You drift with her cadence, weightless, heart steady, mind untroubled, feeling the rhythm of calm echo through your body. Tiny lanterns, hung from trees along the shore, glow faintly through the mist. Their light sways gently, casting moving patterns across the water. You notice how the oracle's whispers seem to interact with this light, as if each word bends softly around the lanterns, illuminating ripples and shadows in tender arcs. You feel the quiet magic of presence, of intention, of soft guidance. Each sound, each movement, carries a luminous tranquility that settles deep in your chest. The oracle kneels once more at a small pool beside the lake, letting her hands hover just above the water. She traces slow, circular patterns, creating faint ripples that expand outward. Her voice follows the same rhythm, gentle and soft, words flowing like liquid light. You float among the ripples, letting their calm wash over you, guiding each thought toward gentle stillness. quiet patience and luminous peace. Above, stars shimmer brighter as the night deepens, mirrored in the quiet lake. The oracle's hands rise to the sky again, tracing lines and arcs as if drawing invisible constellations into being. You drift alongside her, weightless, feeling the soft pull of the threads of prophecy, not heavy with meaning, but light with quiet guidance. Each arc, each whisper, each gentle ripple reminds you that calm flows through everything, seen and unseen, like the slow pulse of water beneath a starlit sky. You notice the subtle sounds of the garden beyond the shore, the soft rustle of leaves, the faint footfalls of nocturnal animals, the distant trickle of a hidden stream. The oracle's whispers harmonize with all these soft noises, weaving them into a gentle, meditative rhythm. You feel yourself sink deeper into this calm, your body light, your thoughts slowing, each breath carrying the luminous peace that the oracle spreads across the quiet night. Small fish leap softly in the moonlight, sending tiny ripples across the surface. A soft wind stirs, brushing against your skin, carrying faint scents of water lilies and wet earth. The oracle moves among the reeds, her fingers brushing them lightly, sending subtle waves through the tall stalks. Every gesture is unhurried, deliberate, harmonious, echoing the same gentle patience that guides the rippling water, the flowing wind, the drifting stars. As the night deepens further, the oracle's voice becomes a soft murmur, her whispers weaving together in a slow, rhythmic cadence. You drift along with the water's gentle flow, feeling the quiet energy of her presence fill every part of you. Each syllable is a soft feather, floating past your ears, settling gently into your mind, your chest, your heart. You feel tension leave your body, leaving only calm, stillness, and a luminous serenity that stretches across your limbs. The mist thickens, softening edges and sounds, making the world feel like a gentle painting. Lanterns, reeds, water, stars, and whispers all blend into a luminous hush. You drift among them, weightless and free, carried by the slow, unbroken rhythm of calm that the oracle has created. Her voice, gentle and melodic, resonates with your breath, your heartbeat, your very being, guiding you softly toward deep, peaceful rest. The night air holds a faint warmth, the water reflects the silver light of the moon, and the whispers of prophecy flow endlessly, tenderly, like soft music across still waters. You float alongside the oracle, her presence luminous and patient, guiding without demand, teaching without urgency. You feel yourself aligned with this rhythm, carried on waves of serene energy, fully held in the gentle embrace of night. Now, let your breath follow the slow cadence of the oracle's voice. Let the water, the stars, the mist, and the faint rustle of reeds carry you gently. Feel the luminous threads of prophecy brushing softly against your mind, easing your thoughts into stillness. Let every ripple, every whisper, every glimmer of moonlight settle into your heart, cradling you in luminous, tender calm. Let us drift onward, across the quiet waters, beneath the twinkling stars, along the soft cadence of the oracle's voice. Now rest as the night holds you softly, and the gentle music of prophecy carries you into timeless, serene sleep. The evening sky deepens, a canvas of muted blues and soft indigos. Shadows stretch slowly across quiet hills, sliding gently into valleys, where moonlight begins to scatter like liquid silver. You float lightly along a narrow path, feeling the cool, tender brush of grass and moss beneath your feet. The air carries the faint scent of night-blooming flowers and distant earth, inviting your senses to soften and settle into the calm rhythm of the approaching night. Here, in this quiet world between day and dark, the goddesses move lightly. They glide where shadows blend with pools of light, each motion deliberate, yet effortless. You drift beside them, weightless, feeling the balance they create between what is seen and what remains hidden. Each step, each gesture mirrors the subtle dance of mystery, guiding your mind into a gentle, meditative stillness. The forest opens before you, shafts of moonlight falling through the branches like slow, shimmering streams. Shadows ripple across the soft earth, creating patterns that seem to breathe in tandem with your own heartbeat. A goddess moves through this space, her robes floating silently, catching fragments of light, bending them softly around her form. You drift closer, feeling the quiet harmony between shadow and illumination, letting it settle like a soft blanket over your thoughts. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying faint whispers through the leaves, These sounds are soft, unhurried, like a secret conversation between the wind and the trees. The goddess pauses, her hands tracing slow arcs in the air, guiding the shadows to mingle with the light. You notice the subtle play of silver and darkness around her, the quiet rhythm of alternation, and your mind eases. Following the gentle cadence of this luminous dance, pools of water lie hidden among the roots of ancient trees, reflecting the moon and stars. You float toward one, noticing the soft ripples that form when a gentle wind brushes across the surface. The goddess kneels beside it, her hands hovering just above the water, guiding faint waves that shimmer in soft patterns. Each movement is slow, careful, deliberate, a meditation in motion. You watch as light and shadow mingle across the pool, a quiet mirror for the unseen mysteries that dwell in all hearts. The path winds deeper, revealing small clearings where moonlight gathers like gentle lanterns. Shadows stretch from the trees long and soft, meeting the light in delicate intersections. The goddess moves among them, her presence a quiet balance, neither pushing the dark away nor letting the light overwhelm. You float alongside her, feeling the gentle pull of calm as your mind mirrors the tranquil interplay of shadow and illumination. Small creatures stir in the underbrush, their movements subtle, harmonious. Owls glide silently overhead, their wings brushing the air like soft sighs. Even the soft rustle of leaves becomes part of the gentle rhythm, blending seamlessly with the goddess's movements. You feel the serene energy of this space, the unhurried motion of life flowing quietly between seen and unseen, shadow and light. The goddess pauses beside a stone arch, half illuminated by moonlight, half draped in shadow. She lifts her hands, and the light seems to respond, pooling softly around her fingers, stretching across the path in gentle, flowing arcs. Shadows respond in turn, curling slowly along the edges, never harsh, never heavy. You drift with this quiet flow, noticing how each shadow and shimmer of light carries a calm lesson. The world is held in balance, and so too is your own mind. Soft candlelight flickers from hidden niches among the trees, sending brief sparks into the darkness. The goddess moves past them, her hands tracing arcs that make the shadows dance lightly against the trunks and the forest floor. Each motion is unhurried, each gesture harmonious, a rhythm that feels like slow breathing. You feel your body align with the pace, your thoughts softening, your heart slowing, as the luminous dance surrounds and carries you. A small stream crosses the path, its waters clear and quiet. The goddess kneels at its edge, letting her hands hover above the rippling surface. Each ripple glows faintly as light and shadow intermingle across the moving water. You drift beside her, feeling the calm pulse of life reflected in the gentle oscillations. The world seems to slow, each ripple a whisper, each shadow a sigh, carrying your thoughts into soft stillness. The dance continues through the forest, shadows weaving around the trees and pools of light resting like gentle islands on the ground. The goddess lifts her arms, tracing a slow arc, and the interplay of darkness and illumination follows her motion as if it were a living thing. You feel a luminous peace settle across your chest, a quiet warmth in your limbs, a gentle rhythm in your breath. All tension drifts away, replaced by the serene awareness of the world moving softly around you. In a hidden grove, moonlight gathers in a small clearing, shimmering on dewy leaves and soft moss. The goddess pauses here, letting the shadows curl around her feet, while light arcs over her head like a tender halo. She hums quietly, a low, melodic sound that vibrates softly through the trees and across the ground. You drift alongside the vibrations, feeling them carry a luminous calm into every part of your being. Faint mist rises along the edges of the clearing, softening shapes and smoothing the boundaries between shadow and light. The goddess moves slowly, her steps deliberate, her arms tracing gentle curves through the mist. Each motion harmonizes with the soft murmur of water from a distant stream, the faint rustle of leaves, and the low hum of nocturnal life. You drift weightless, feeling yourself become part of this luminous, gentle rhythm. Soft stars shimmer overhead, reflected faintly in pools of water scattered across the clearing. The goddess kneels beside one, tracing the surface with a fingertip. Light dances across the water. Shadows curl delicately at its edges. You float close, feeling each ripple, each shimmer, each shadow as a tender reminder that calm can move in delicate, subtle ways. Your mind follows the slow arcs of light and shadow, and your breath falls into a rhythm as gentle and steady as the luminous dance around you. Every movement of the goddess, every ripple of water, every flicker of light and shadow is part of a continuous, slow meditation. You feel the luminous calm wrap around you like a soft blanket. The balance of mystery and revelation, the gentle interchange between dark and light, carries your thoughts into stillness, your limbs into ease, your heart into serene quiet. As the night deepens, shadows lengthen and soften further. Light pools in tranquil spaces, and the goddess glides slowly among them. Each step, each gesture, each quiet hum teaches without words, reminding you that peace comes from harmony, from acceptance of the subtle rhythms of life, from gentle awareness of both seen and unseen. You drift with her, weightless, fully held by the luminous calm of shadows and light. Now, let your own breath follow the gentle rhythm of this sacred dance. Let the soft shadows brush against your mind. Let the luminous pools of light settle into your heart. Let the gentle cadence of quiet movement ease every tension. Drift alongside the goddess, moving with the slow flow of night, weightless and serene, carried into luminous, gentle stillness. Let us drift onward, past pools of light, along curling shadows, through the tender rhythms of the luminous night. Now rest, as the balance of mystery and revelation holds you softly, and the gentle dance of shadow and light carries you into peaceful, timeless sleep. The first whispers of dawn touch the tallest peaks, soft light spilling across jagged stones and snow-laden cliffs. You float gently along a narrow mountain path, the air crisp and cool, carrying the faint scent of pine and distant wildflowers. Below, valleys are wrapped in silver mist and rivers shine like threads of liquid light. Each breath you take is calm, slow, deliberate, carrying the scent of earth, stone, and the quiet energy of high places. Here, above the world, the goddesses are said to dwell. Their presence is felt in the hush of snow settling on cliffs, in the gentle curve of rocks worn smooth by time, in the quiet flight of birds that circle the summits. You drift with them, weightless, as if the mountains themselves cradle your spirit. The stones beneath your feet are steady, ancient, full of wisdom that hums softly through the souls of your being. A soft wind moves through the peaks, lifting your hair and brushing gently against your skin. It carries stories older than any city, whispers of divine women whose steps once traced these paths. Their hands rested lightly on stones, their eyes reflected the endless sky, and their voices, though no longer heard, leave echoes in the rustle of wind through branches and the soft sigh of melting snow. You breathe in these whispers, letting them ease every thought, every worry, into a quiet, timeless calm. The path winds higher, revealing hidden ledges and quiet groves tucked into the mountainside. Snowflakes drift down like tiny stars, landing on moss and stone in delicate patterns. You pause to watch, feeling the soft hush of falling snow, the slow rhythmic quiet that blankets the world. The goddesses walk here in memory, their presence like a warm shawl against the crisp mountain air. Every step, every curve of the trail carries the serene rhythm of protection and care. In a secluded grove, a pool of still water reflects the sky above. You float to its edge, noticing the gentle ripples where snowflakes meet the surface. The goddess who watches over these mountains appears, her form almost blending with the soft light and shadow. She kneels by the pool, her hands tracing the water in slow, deliberate patterns. Each movement creates rings of calm that extend across the surface, mirroring the tranquility that fills your mind and body. Stone altars, carved long ago by hands that once worshipped these divine women, rest quietly along the path. They are simple, strong, and patient, holding centuries of reverence in their smooth surfaces. The wind passes over them softly, carrying the faint scent of incense long since burned, of petals scattered in devotion, of prayers whispered beneath open skies. You breathe in the calm of these spaces, letting the mountain's stillness seep into your heart. The path curves around a cliffside, revealing a panorama of peaks stretching endlessly into the horizon. Each summit catches the first golden light, shadows falling gently into valleys and crevices. The goddess moves along the ridge, her robes catching the breeze, flowing like liquid light. You float beside her, feeling the tender harmony of stone and air shadow and snow, presence and emptiness. Each step is a slow meditation, each pause a soft breath, carrying you deeper into serenity. A small temple of stone, nestled into a sheltered nook, holds the quiet energy of devotion. Candles flicker faintly within, their soft glow reflecting off walls etched with symbols of divine women, their forms gentle yet strong. You drift closer, feeling the warmth of this sacred space, the still calm of devotion preserved through countless seasons. Here, the goddess's protection is tangible, a gentle embrace that quiets every restless thought and soothes every tense muscle. Snowfields stretch wide beyond the temple, smooth and silent, interrupted only by traces of delicate paths. Footprints of mountain creatures, light and fleeting, cross the white expanse, and you follow them slowly with your gaze, feeling the gentle rhythm of life that flows quietly in all directions. The goddess watches over these fields, her presence like soft wind over snow, her touch like the warmth of sunlight on stone. You feel the calm settle deeper within you, carried by the slow, steady pulse of the mountain world. Along the ridge, clusters of trees bend beneath snow, their branches swaying gently in the mountain wind. Light and shadow play across the trunks and frozen leaves, creating patterns that rise and fall like the soft cadence of breath. You drift through this living sculpture, noticing the harmony between stillness and motion, the tender way the goddesses guide this quiet rhythm. Every shadow, every glint of light, carries you further into a space of soft, meditative awareness. High above, the sky stretches wide, pale blue merging with soft gold as the sun rises. Clouds drift lazily, their edges catching light, forming shapes that seem alive yet calm. The goddess lifts her hands, and the light seems to pool around her fingers, mingling with shadows in slow, flowing arcs. You float beside her, weightless, your mind following the gentle rhythm of the mountains, the soft play of light and shadow, the slow, deliberate movement of calm energy that flows quietly through this sacred world. Snowmelt trickles in gentle streams down cliffs, pooling in quiet hollows, creating soft murmurs that echo against stone walls. You follow the sound, feeling the vibration as it moves through the air, the soft pulse of liquid motion like a lullaby for the mountains themselves. The goddess kneels beside one pool, letting her fingers skim the surface, sending gentle ripples outward. Each ripple carries a quiet calm that spreads softly through the surrounding space, touching your mind, your heart, your body. The sun rises higher, casting golden paths across distant peaks, shadows shrinking slowly, soft and tender. You watch as the goddess moves along a narrow trail, her steps as deliberate and graceful as the slow unfolding of dawn. Each gesture she makes harmonizes with the mountain's rhythm, the pulse of wind and snow, stone and sky. You feel a luminous calm settle into every part of you, your thoughts quieting, your body releasing tension, your mind drifting in gentle stillness. In a hidden alcove, frost-coated flowers bloom quietly, their petals fragile yet resilient. The goddess bends slightly, brushing a hand over each blossom, her touch soft and reverent. The light from the rising sun glints faintly on each petal, and shadows move slowly across the ground. You float close, noticing how every delicate form, every gentle shadow, every shimmer of light carries the soft energy of the divine. Your breath follows this rhythm, slow and deep, carrying peace into every corner of your being. Mountains rise higher, jagged yet gentle in their grandeur. Snow glows faintly where the goddess has passed, as if the peaks themselves acknowledge her presence. You drift beside her, weightless, carried by the soft energy of protection, wisdom, and serenity. Each step, each pause, each quiet gesture flows like a river of calm through your mind, washing away the remnants of worry and restlessness. Now, the world is quiet, balanced, and luminous. Peaks cradle the sky, valleys breathe in mist, rivers shine with gentle reflection, and the goddess moves lightly, a silent guide through this space of serene mountains. You follow her calmly, your mind and body attuned to the soft cadence of stone, snow, wind, and light. Every breath becomes a slow wave of peace, every heartbeat a gentle echo of the mountain's eternal calm. Let the stillness settle over you, like snow blanketing a quiet valley. Let the soft light touch your mind, and the gentle shadows rest over your thoughts. Drift lightly with the goddess through stone and snow, along hidden paths and sunlit ridges. The mountains hold you gently, their presence protective and serene, carrying you into quiet, timeless rest. Let us drift onward, past cliffs and groves, across snowfields and streams, through the tender, luminous calm of these sacred mountains. Now rest as the peaks cradle your spirit, and the serene energy of the divine women washes softly over your mind, carrying you into peaceful, dreamless sleep. The forest awakens slowly, not with loud cries, but with gentle whispers. Sunlight filters through tall, leafy canopies, falling in soft, golden beams across mossy floors and winding paths. You float quietly along a narrow trail, each step cushioned by fallen leaves and soft soil. The air is rich with the scent of damp earth, pine, and distant blossoms. Each breath you take is calm, full, deliberate, and carries the subtle hum of life that thrives quietly in these sacred woods. The trees stretch high, their trunks smooth and strong, branches interwoven like ancient hands holding the sky. Shadows dance gently across the forest floor, shifting with the slow sway of leaves. Somewhere in the distance, a stream hums its soft song, and birds drift between branches, their wings brushing the air with delicate rhythm. You move slowly, letting the forest cradle your thoughts, each step a gentle pulse, each breath a quiet wave of calm. Legends say that goddesses wander here, their presence woven into the hum of life. They step lightly among ferns and flowering shrubs, leaving behind the soft glow of protection and grace. Their footprints vanish as quickly as they appear, but the air carries their memory, warm and luminous, brushing against your skin like a soft breeze. You float beside them, weightless, as if the forest itself is guiding your spirit along these ancient paths. Moss blanket stones and fallen logs, softening edges and creating natural pillows along the trail. Tiny flowers, fragile and bright, peek through cracks in soil, catching the sunlight in gentle bursts. The goddesses bend, their fingers tracing patterns in the earth, and wherever they touch, the forest seems to respond. Leaves sway, petals open, and the air fills subtle shimmer of quiet magic. You pause to watch, feeling each movement settle like a calm tide within your chest. Sunlight filters in thin shafts, illuminating hidden clearings where the air feels lighter, almost musical. Here, devotees once walked slowly, offering whispered prayers and gentle songs. Their voices, though long since faded, still echo in the soft sway of branches and the trickle of streams. You drift into this space, letting the echoes mingle with your own breath, carrying your mind toward stillness, your body into ease. A small glade appears, framed by arching trees and delicate vines. The forest floor is carpeted with soft moss, and the light moves in waves, brushing over every leaf and stone. The goddess kneels here, palms touching the earth, eyes closed in quiet meditation. A soft wind lifts the edges of her robe, carrying petals and whispers around her. You float near, letting the gentle rhythm of her presence wash over you, settling tension, easing thought, cradling your spirit in the calm of the sacred woods. Every sound is subtle yet alive, the rustle of leaves, the quiet murmur of water, the faint call of a distant bird. Each is a gentle reminder of presence, of life, of the slow, tender heartbeat of the forest. The goddess moves through these sounds like a soft current, her steps unhurried, each motion deliberate yet effortless. You follow the rhythm, feeling the slow pulse of energy that flows quietly through trunk and leaf, stream and shadow. Deeper into the forest, ancient trees rise like silent sentinels, their branches thick with history. Sunlight touches their bark in pale golden streaks. Here, the goddesses are said to have rested, leaving gifts of calm and wisdom hidden among roots and stones. You drift past them, noticing small offerings of flowers, carved symbols, and stones placed carefully in reverence. Each holds a soft energy, a quiet prayer that lingers in the air. Your breath synchronizes with the forest, each inhale drawing in serenity, each exhale releasing tension. A gentle brook winds through the trees, its surface catching the light in tiny, sparkling ripples. You follow its course, guided by the soft murmur of water over stone. The goddess kneels by the brook, letting her fingers touch the current, sending waves of calm outward. Each ripple spreads across the water and into the forest, touching every mossy stone, every fallen leaf, every blade of grass. You feel the ripple within yourself, gentle, undisturbed, flowing slowly from heart to mind to body. The forest floor is dotted with ferns and delicate wildflowers, moving slightly in the whispering wind. You notice the faint shimmer of dew on each leaf, reflecting beams of light like tiny lanterns. The goddesses pass among them, hands brushing the petals, blessing each with invisible touch. You drift alongside them, the soft rhythm of their movement carrying you into deeper ease. Each step a quiet meditation, each pause a soft lullaby for the spirit. Birdsong rises and falls, weaving through the sunlight and shadow. Their melody is not loud or urgent, but slow and lilting, like a soft, distant music meant to calm rather than awaken. The goddess tilts her head, listening, absorbing the subtle cadence. You too drift with this gentle symphony, letting your mind follow the rise and fall, the quiet spaces between notes. The way silence itself becomes music in this sacred grove. Branches arch overhead, forming natural tunnels where sunlight dances slowly across leaves. The forest breathes around you, a living pulse that carries the energy of countless seasons. Each tree, each stone, each hidden bloom carries memory, story, presence. The goddess moves softly through this rhythm, and you follow, weightless, embraced by the slow, deliberate energy of protection and care. A hidden glade opens, framed by ancient trees whose roots weave deep into the earth. Here, a circle of stones forms a quiet altar, the center hollow and still. The goddess places her hands upon the stones, her presence filling the air like a soft, luminous fog. You feel it, a gentle warmth that spreads through your body, easing muscles, quieting thoughts, filling the spaces between breaths with calm and serenity. The light shifts slowly, moving across the forest in slow waves, painting shadows and highlights across moss and stone. You float beside the goddess, noticing the tender way the forest responds to her presence. The soft sway of branches, the shimmer of dew, the faint rustle of leaves. Every detail carries the slow heartbeat of the sacred woods, a rhythm that matches your own breath and pulse, guiding you toward quiet rest. Soft wind passes through the glade, carrying faint scents of pine, earth, and flowers. The goddess steps lightly, her movement echoing in the stillness like a gentle chime. Each step leaves no mark, but the air itself seems to shimmer with calm. You drift beside her, your body weightless, your thoughts unburdened, carried by the gentle cadence of wind, water, stone, and light. As the day stretches slowly toward evening, the forest glows with muted gold and soft shadow. The streams shimmer, the leaves whisper, and the faint songs of birds echo across hidden paths. You follow the goddess to a quiet nook where sunlight filters through a curtain of leaves in soft, slow beams. Here the energy of the sacred woods settles around you like a warm, protective blanket. Each breath draws it in. Each exhale releases what no longer serves you, leaving only calm. Let the mossy floors cradle your body. Let the gentle streams carry away every lingering thought. Drift through shadows and sunlight, through soft rustle and tender song, guided by the luminous presence of the goddesses. Their steps are slow, their gestures deliberate, their energy serene. You follow in their rhythm, weightless, peaceful, ready to rest fully within the sacred embrace of the whispering forest. Now, as sunlight fades slowly and shadows deepen, let the quiet settle. Let the forest hum softly around you, its breath carrying calm into your mind, your body, your soul. You float gently through the moss and leaves, past streams and stone, beneath trees that hold the wisdom of ages. The goddess's presence lingers softly, a gentle, protective light that will remain with you as you drift into dreamless, restful sleep. Let us drift onward, through the quiet paths, across soft beams of sunlight, past the tender rustle of leaves, into the infinite calm of these whispering forests. Now rest as the sacred woods cradle your spirit and the soft energy of the divine washes over your mind, carrying you fully into gentle, peaceful slumber. Myths of renewal flow like gentle streams, carrying the energy of life, death, and transformation. Each ripple offers the calm assurance of continuity and grace. The river wakes slowly, not with force, but with gentle sighs that brush against the banks. You float along its quiet path, the surface smooth and reflective, like liquid silver under the soft glow of early morning. Mist rises in thin curling ribbons, carrying the faint scent of wet stone, earth, and reeds. Every inhalation feels full and slow, every exhalation like a ripple dissolving into calm water. The river whispers ancient stories, and you listen, weightless, letting each note settle softly within. Along its banks, wildflowers lean toward the light, delicate and unhurried. Their petals glisten with dew, tiny mirrors reflecting the pale sky. The river bends around smooth stones, creating hidden pockets of gentle currents. Each eddy, each swirl, carries the quiet energy of renewal, as if the water itself remembers the cycles of life and change. You drift quietly, tracing these soft currents with your gaze, feeling the tender rhythm of transformation echoing in your chest. Legends speak of goddesses who walk these waters, their presence flowing as naturally as the river itself. Their robes sweep the surface without breaking it, leaving trails of calm, luminous energy. They gather small offerings, leaves, petals, smooth stones, and send them downstream, each one a blessing, a gentle prayer of continuity. You follow their slow steps, feeling the subtle guidance of unseen hands, the gentle tug of water carrying peace through every quiet moment. Dragonflies hover just above the river, wings catching the light in soft glimmers. Their flight is slow, deliberate, almost ceremonial, and they pass through the mist like living threads of silver. The goddess watches them with quiet attention, her fingertips brushing the surface of the water, sending tiny ripples outward. Each ripple is a story, a cycle, a soft assurance that endings are always beginnings in another form. You watch the motion, feeling each gentle pulse of renewal spread from the river into your own spirit. Further downstream, the river widens, forming shallow pools where the sunlight touches like warm hands. Stones lie beneath the water, smooth and steady, holding the quiet memory of countless seasons. The goddess kneels by one pool, letting the water slide between her fingers. She breathes slowly, and the water seems to mirror her rhythm. Tiny fish dart beneath the surface, moving in silent synchrony with her presence. You drift close, letting the mirrored light, the gentle movement, and the soft music of water soothe every thought into stillness. The riverbanks rise gently here, lined with ancient trees whose roots drink deep from the flowing waters. Their leaves tremble in a slow, soft dance with the wind. Shadows fall across the river, pooling in the hollows of smooth stones, creating patterns that shift in quiet, hypnotic rhythms. The goddess moves through these shadows and light, each step a soft caress on the earth. You follow, letting your attention move in time with her motion, feeling the calm certainty of cycles unfolding, the slow promise of rebirth resting within every breath. Where the water curves gently around a bend, lilies float in quiet clusters, their pale faces lifting toward the sky. The goddess touches them lightly, and the petals quiver, rippling outward into the surrounding water. You watch the spreading ripples, each one carrying soft assurance, a message that change is gentle, inevitable, and full of grace. The river moves slowly past you, and you feel its rhythm join your own. Slow, flowing, serene. A soft breeze carries the scent of wet earth and blooming flowers. The goddess lifts her arms slightly, letting the wind brush her hair and robe. Around her, small creatures stir, birds, rabbits, and tiny frogs, yet they make no sound that disturbs the sacred quiet. Everything seems to exist in a state of gentle balance, as if the river, the earth, and the sky themselves are breathing together. You drift alongside, weightless, carried by the hush of movement, the quiet energy of life, renewing itself. Light begins to shift as the day stretches forward, soft and golden along the edges of the river. The goddess dips her hands into the current and lets the water flow back into the river, sending tiny sparkling arcs into the sunlight. Each sparkle is a small fragment of the larger story, a moment of continuity, a soft echo of the eternal cycles. You watch, letting each reflection touch your mind like a slow caress, your chest rising and falling in time with the gentle waves. Downstream, reeds sway in the current, brushing lightly against one another. Their movement is slow, rhythmic, hypnotic, a quiet melody carried in liquid motion. The goddess walks among them, her steps delicate, leaving no trace, yet the energy of her passage lingers like a soft vibration in the water. You drift through this rhythm, letting the gentle sway guide your breath. Each inhale a wave of calm, each exhale a release of tension and worry. In a hidden cove, the river splits into tiny streams, winding among moss-covered stones. The goddess pauses, sending a small ripple into each branch, each one carrying whispers of life, hope, and transformation. You feel yourself float closer, carried by the subtle currents. The water brushes against your feet as if welcoming you into the cycle of renewal, the slow unfolding of life, death, and rebirth. Every tiny wave carries a soft reminder that the world is always moving, always shifting, always offering calm reassurance. Above, sunlight filters through a thin mist, scattering into pale rainbows over the water. The goddess tilts her head, letting the light touch her face and hands. She breathes deeply, and the river seems to respond, glowing faintly where the sun touches the ripples. You drift through this luminous calm, feeling the slow warmth of light and water moving through your body, relaxing muscles, softening thoughts, settling your mind in a gentle rhythm of ease. Along the banks, soft moss cushions each stone and root, forming natural resting places. You pause here for a moment, letting your body settle into the quiet support of the earth. The goddess kneels nearby, her hands trailing through the water, each ripple spreading softly outward. You notice that the river carries not just water, but an energy of reassurance, a subtle whisper that life flows onward, that endings are gentle, and beginnings are always near. As the day deepens, shadows lengthen across the river, pooling beneath the trees. The goddess rises slowly, letting her robe brush the water lightly as she moves. The forest hums softly, the river murmurs, and the gentle cadence of life continues unbroken. You drift with this rhythm, each breath slowing, each heartbeat sinking to the quiet energy of the river, the goddess, the earth itself. Small fish leap briefly from the water, creating tiny arcs that catch the sun. Lilies sway, petals touching softly. Dragonflies skim the surface, wings shimmering in slow motion. The goddess watches, serene, her presence a subtle, luminous thread, woven through every motion. You follow the rhythm, weightless, fully supported by the gentle flow of river and light, by the tender energy of cycles that stretch beyond time. The river narrows once more, winding into quiet pools, each still surface reflecting sky and trees. The goddess kneels at the water's edge, palms pressed lightly to the current. She exhales slowly, and the water seems to carry a soft sigh of calm outward. You drift close, feeling the echo of that sigh within yourself, spreading through your chest and limbs, quieting the mind, softening the thoughts, carrying you into gentle ease. Let your gaze drift over the water's surface, across smooth stones, beneath the soft sway of reeds and branches. Listen to the slow murmur of currents, the faint rustle of wind through leaves. Each sound is a soft thread connecting you to the river, to the goddess, to the quiet cycles of life flowing endlessly onward. Let yourself float in this gentle current, weightless, serene, embraced by the sacred flow of renewal. As the sun dips slowly toward the horizon, the river glows with muted gold and silver. Shadows lengthen and stretch, mingling with light, creating a soft, mesmerizing rhythm. The goddess steps lightly into the fading glow, letting the water lap gently against her robes. You drift alongside, carried by the slow pulse of river and sunlight, feeling each moment of change as calm, each transition as gentle, each breath as a soft reminder of continuity. Let us drift onward, past rippling pools, beneath swaying reeds, through mist and sunlight. Let the river carry you through cycles of renewal, life, and gentle transformation. The goddess's presence lingers like a warm glow, a quiet assurance that the calm of this river and the sacred stories it holds remain with you. Now rest. As the ripples move slowly, the water flows endlessly, and the river cradles your spirit in serene, unbroken peace. The path opens softly, winding between moss-covered stones and ancient trees. You drift along, carried not by urgency but by gentle curiosity, feeling the hush of the forest settle around you. In the distance, a faint glow touches the edges of the shadows. Golden light filters through carved stone, slipping across water and worn steps, guiding you without sound. Each breath you take joins the rhythm of the sanctuary, slow and serene, a quiet invitation to rest within its calm embrace. Stone walls rise around you, rounded and weathered, holding centuries of stillness. Sunlight pools on smooth surfaces, catching dust motes that float like tiny golden stars. Here, time moves differently. It stretches and slows, wrapping you in the subtle warmth of the temple's quiet. The air is fragrant with faint incense and the soft scent of flowers placed at sacred altars. You drift forward, every step cushioned by soft moss and silent devotion, carried toward a space where light and shadow meet in gentle harmony. In the center, water gathers in shallow basins, reflecting the golden glow like liquid mirrors. The goddess walks beside the pools, her feet brushing the stone without sound. She dips her fingers lightly into the water, sending ripples across the surface. Each ripple expands slowly, a subtle reminder that even the smallest touch carries influence, quiet yet enduring. You watch the gentle motion, feeling the calm radiate outward, reaching the edges of your mind and settling it into soft ease. Columns rise like quiet sentinels, carved with symbols of growth, renewal, and protection. Sunlight flows between them, forming thin streams of gold that dance upon the stone. The goddess moves beneath these beams, her robes flowing lightly, catching the glow. Each motion seems to guide the light itself, shaping it into slow, meditative patterns. You drift in tandem, feeling a deep connection to the soft energy that moves through space, through stone, through water, and through you. Small birds flit near the temple's edges, their wings brushing against the beams of light. They move slowly, almost ceremonially, carrying whispers of life and serenity. The goddess watches them with a calm gaze, her presence a gentle balance between earth and sky. You follow her eyes, letting their quiet focus guide your own. In this sacred rhythm there is no rush, no tension, only the slow unfolding of understanding and reflection. The air shimmers with warmth as sunlight deepens. Golden rays touch each surface, illuminating carvings that tell stories of divine women who once walked these spaces. Their hands offered blessings, their eyes held compassion, their presence brought peace. You feel their energy ripple through the stone and water, soft and constant, a quiet pulse that matches your own slow heartbeat. Here history is not loud or heavy, it is luminous, gentle and tender. Like the hush of a dream, you can enter freely. Water flows quietly along narrow channels in the temple floor, carrying fallen petals and tiny fragments of light. The goddess kneels by a small pool, letting her reflection merge with the ripples. You drift closer, feeling the movement of the water echo softly within your chest. Each ripple carries the calm of continuity, the assurance that reflection and stillness are sacred, and that peace can be found in small, simple motions repeated over and over. Steps echo softly as you move through inner courtyards. Stone benches and low walls create spaces of quiet meditation. Sunlight falls in patches, golden and warm, highlighting carvings of serpents, birds, and flowers intertwined. Each symbol tells a story without words, a language of calm that you can feel more than see. The goddess walks among them, her hand brushing the carvings, sending faint vibrations of gentle understanding through the stone. You feel these vibrations ripple into your own being, softening tension, easing thought, and bringing focus to stillness. Fragrant flowers grow along the edges of the inner sanctuaries, their petals open to the light. Bees hum faintly, moving lazily from blossom to blossom. The goddess gathers a small bouquet, letting each flower's essence mingle with the golden air. She places them in water basins where petals float gently, touching the surface with almost imperceptible ripples. You watch, letting the slow, deliberate movement settle your mind. Each petal becomes a small lesson in grace, each ripple a reminder of gentle continuity and the calm presence of nurturing hands. In one quiet alcove, golden light flows across a shallow pool, catching tiny dust particles that seem to float like stars in the water. The goddess kneels here, tracing patterns with her fingers. Ripples form and fade slowly, a gentle cadence that fills the space. You drift beside her, feeling the soft pulse of movement echo in your chest, your arms, and your legs. The rhythm of light and water becomes your own, a slow meditation, a delicate dance between presence and stillness. The temple's corridors are lined with candles, some small, some larger, all flickering softly. Their flames bend with the slightest draft, sending gentle shadows across the walls. Each flicker carries a message of quiet hope, subtle warmth, and the assurance of protection. You move among them, allowing their soft glow to touch your face and hands, feeling the comfort of light held in sacred space. The goddess passes by, her movement serene, her presence leaving an invisible trail of calm energy that you sense more than see. Birdsong drifts in through open arches, mingling with the subtle scent of water and incense. You hear each note, not sharply, but as a gentle background to the sanctuary's stillness. The goddess pauses, listening, and the temple seems to respond. Light bends softly around her form, water shimmers in response, and the very stone feels warmer, touched by quiet reverence. You follow the rhythm, letting the gentle orchestration of light, sound, and motion carry you into a deeper state of calm, where thought is soft and presence is full. A small staircase leads to an upper terrace where golden light gathers in quiet pools. The goddess climbs slowly, her robe brushing the stone, the light touching her in a warm embrace. From this height, the temple unfolds like a secret kept for centuries. Pools, alcoves, statues, and water channels reflecting sunlight in slow, deliberate arcs. You ascend beside her, each step a soft connection to the sacred energy flowing through the temple. Each breath a gentle reminder of stillness and renewal. The terrace opens to a small garden where fountains bubble quietly, their water catching light in glimmering arcs. Flowers lean toward the sunlight, leaves trembling in the faint breeze. The goddess kneels among them, hands pressed to the stone around the fountains, sending tiny ripples through the water. You drift closer, letting the combination of motion, scent, and light lull every muscle into calm. Here, in this garden of gentle sound and golden warmth, the mind finds soft focus, and the spirit feels cradled by presence. As the day wanes, shadows stretch and mingle with golden light. The goddess rises slowly, letting her robe sweep over the smooth stone. She moves past fountains, alcoves, and pools, leaving no trace yet filling the space with serene energy. You follow, floating lightly, carried by the rhythm of her passage, by the soft cadence of water, and by the golden glow that wraps each surface. In this gentle unfolding, there is no need for thought, no need for urgency, only the quiet presence of peace and reflection. Golden rays touch each surface one last time before the sun lowers. Pools shimmer, petals drift, and faint sounds of water and birds fill the gentle quiet. The goddess pauses at the temple's center, letting the golden light settle around her. You drift near, feeling the warmth, the stillness, and the quiet understanding that all is calm, all is safe, and all is held in sacred rhythm. Let us drift onward, past shallow pools, golden-lit stones, and fountains whispering their gentle songs. Let the presence of the goddess, the light and the quiet sanctuary flow through your mind, softening every thought. Feel the calm embrace your chest, the warmth settle in your arms and legs, and let the golden light of the hidden temple cradle your spirit. Now rest. As the light slowly fades, the water continues to ripple, and the sacred stillness holds you in serene, unbroken peace. Under soft, celestial glow, goddesses observe humanity with calm attention. We drift in the moonlight, feeling serenity in the quiet presence of these timeless watchers. The night opens like a soft sigh, spreading silver over hills, forests, and rivers. You float along a gentle path, where moonlight spills over leaves and stones, touching the earth with quiet warmth. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of night blossoms and distant waters. Shadows move slowly beneath ancient trees, stretching and bending without urgency. Every breath feels lighter here, each step a gentle rhythm in the calm, eternal night. Above, the moon hangs like a lantern in the sky. Its silver glow bathes the world in soft light, revealing hidden textures in stone and bark, glimmering ripples on still water. Here, the moon is not only a guide, but a companion, watching over you as you drift along the quiet path. You notice the subtle movements of creatures, small and serene, and the faint rustle of leaves as the wind whispers through branches. The world seems to pause, listening with you to the soft cadence of night. Among the silvered landscape, figures move with grace. Goddesses, moonwatchers of ages past, drift along ridges, riverbanks, and temple steps. Their robes shimmer faintly, catching the moonlight in delicate folds. They walk without sound, each movement deliberate yet effortless, as though they flow with the air itself. You feel their calm attention, a quiet presence that stretches across hills and valleys, touching every living being with gentle observation. Pools of water reflect the moon's glow, broken only by the slow ripple of a fallen leaf or a drifting blossom. One goddess kneels beside a pool, her fingers grazing the surface. Ripples spread outward, and the silver light bends, flowing over her hands, over the stones, over you. Each ripple carries a silent blessing, a reminder that calm observation can transform the world, that presence alone brings serenity. You let the ripples wash through your mind, softening thoughts, quieting tension, and inviting rest. On a distant hill, another goddess lifts her gaze skyward, The stars are quiet companions, scattered across the dark sky like scattered seeds of memory. She traces constellations with her eyes, each movement slow, meditative. You drift near, feeling the steady rhythm of her watching, the unhurried flow of her attention. The stars themselves seem to bend toward her gaze, twinkling gently, sharing their quiet energy. In this light, the world feels held, safe, and eternal. Through valleys and forests, moonlight streams like silver threads, weaving between branches, rocks, and flowers. The goddesses move along these threads, stepping lightly, never breaking the rhythm of the night. Their presence is a soft weight, a gentle assurance that all is observed and protected. You follow in silence, your own breath matching the slow pulse of their movements, your mind resting in the calm constancy of this celestial watch. Near a quiet river, a goddess rests beside a stone arch. Her reflection mingles with the moons on the water's surface, creating a pattern of silver and shadow. She leans forward, letting a hand brush the surface, sending tiny ripples across the reflection. You watch the dance of light and movement, feeling the ripple touch your chest, easing your shoulders, softening your thoughts. The river, the light, and her presence blend into a single current of serenity, carrying you gently onward. Owls stir in the branches above, wings whispering through the night. They glide near the moon watchers, drawn by their quiet power and steady attention. You sense the harmony of life around you, the gentle interconnectedness that exists when observation is calm and patient. Every sound, every movement, every flicker of silver light is part of the sacred rhythm of the night, part of a slow dance that balances shadow and illumination. The goddesses gather on a low ridge where the moon's glow is fullest. They sit in silent circles, hands resting on stone and earth, eyes closed or half-lidded, attentive yet unhurried. You drift to their side, feeling the subtle pull of stillness. Each heartbeat seems to echo softly, mingling with the rhythm of the night. Their quiet presence reminds you that serenity is not the absence of thought, but the gentle shaping of it, the careful attention that lets the mind rest while still witnessing the world. Soft clouds drift across the sky, passing before the moon like slow curtains. The goddesses shift their gaze, following each movement with tender awareness. You float beside them, letting the clouds' slow passage guide your own thoughts. Shadows stretch and melt into silver light, forming shapes that seem alive, yet calm and unthreatening. Each moment passes like a gentle wave, leaving only peace behind. In a secluded grove, the moonlight touches a circle of ancient stones. A goddess kneels, hands pressed lightly against the ground, her presence flowing into the earth. The stones seem to hum softly, responding to the quiet energy she radiates. You sit nearby, feeling the gentle vibration resonate through your spine, down your arms, and into your legs. The energy is steady and soothing, a cradle of calm that holds you in the stillness of the night. Distant mountains shimmer under silver light, their peaks catching faint glimmers that remind you of soft echoes and quiet strength. A goddess walks along a ridge, her figure outlined in light, moving as though she is part of the mountain itself. Her attention flows outward, brushing forests, rivers, and sleeping villages. You drift with her gaze, feeling your mind expand and settle at once, like the world has grown wide and soft at the same time. Along the river's edge, petals drift on the slow current, catching light from the moon. The goddesses reach out with delicate fingers, letting the petals float and mingle with ripples in the water. Each movement is a prayer, silent yet profound, a meditation of presence and care. You watch, breathing with the rhythm of the petals, letting their gentle journey across the surface mirror the ease settling in your own body. The night deepens, and stars grow brighter against the dark velvet sky. The goddesses rise slowly, their robes brushing stone and grass with quiet sound. They move with no urgency, guiding the moonlight along hills, across rivers, through forests, and into sleeping homes. You float alongside, feeling the soft pulse of serenity that moves with them. Every step, every gesture, every breath is a quiet gift, a gentle assurance that life, though complex and shifting, is held in calm observation. Owls, rivers, and distant wind all join the soft music of the night. The moon hangs full and luminous, bathing the world in steady silver. The goddesses sit atop a low hill, their eyes gazing across the sleeping landscape, silent and patient. You lie beside them, feeling the cool grass beneath your hands and the steady pull of moonlight on your skin. The night feels infinite yet intimate, vast yet tender, a sacred space held by the quiet attention of timeless beings. You drift slowly in this serenity, feeling the soft rhythm of the night pulse in harmony with your own heartbeat. The silver light touches every curve of the landscape, every fold of the goddess's robes, every ripple of the river. You feel held, cradled by attention that asks nothing, demands nothing, only offers presence and calm. Every thought softens, every muscle releases, every breath becomes a gentle wave in the vast, tranquil sea of the night. Let us drift onward, along moonlit ridges, past silver rivers, and beneath whispering leaves. Let the goddess's calm observation flow through your mind, weaving soft patterns of rest, patience, and ease. Each moment of their silent watching becomes a gentle guide for your own consciousness, drawing you into deep relaxation and quiet peace. Now rest. As the stars return to their positions in the sky, the moonlight continues to drape the hills, and the timeless watchers remain beside you, silent yet profoundly present. Let their serene attention cradle you through the night, softening every thought, easing every worry, and carrying you gently towards sleep. Night drifts across the horizon like a soft veil, folding the world into quiet shadow and silver light. You lie gently beneath this calm, feeling the slow pulse of the earth beneath you, the soft whisper of wind brushing over leaves, and the faint rustle of distant waters. In this gentle night, the stories of old rise around you, like mist curling over mountains, spilling into valleys, and pooling beside silent rivers. You float within them, surrounded by the soft glow of remembrance. Ancient goddesses whose names have traveled through time drift through this space with delicate presence. They move without hurry, their robes catching the moonlight, shimmering faintly as if woven from strands of the night itself. Each movement is a note, each glance a soft melody of care. The first goddess kneels by a quiet pond. Her hands hover just above the water, and ripples radiate outward like whispers. You watch the moonlight dance across the surface, the silver waves trembling slowly, merging with the reflections of stars. The goddess's gaze is steady and kind, reminding you that quiet observation is its own devotion, that simply being present can cradle the heart. Your own mind softens in the glow of her attention, thoughts unraveling gently like threads falling into water. Beyond the pond, a forest stretches in deep shadow, leaves rustling with the faintest breeze. Within its embrace, another goddess moves between mossy trunks. Her feet barely touch the earth, yet each step seems to stir a hidden current of serenity. Birds hidden in the branches lift in soft flight, circling briefly, their wings brushing the cool air like whispered songs. You follow, floating between light and shade, guided by the calm rhythm of her movement, feeling tension dissolve with each step. Above, the moon arcs slowly across the sky, silver light spilling over hills, stones, and rivers. A goddess stands atop a low ridge gazing at the stars. Her eyes trace constellations long forgotten, weaving tales from dots of light, drawing the universe into a gentle pattern of memory and hope. You feel the hush of eternity in her presence, the soft assurance that life is cradled by attention both tender and infinite. Your breathing matches the rhythm of the night, slow and even, like a lullaby carried across time. A river winds through the landscape, its waters moving with patient grace. Along its banks, petals drift, catching moonlight in delicate shimmer. A goddess kneels beside the current, letting her hands brush the surface. Each ripple is a story, each wave a soft promise that life flows forward, gentle and unbroken. You watch as the water carries the petals, flowing past stones and reeds, reflecting the silver sky above. The rhythm of the river seeps into your chest, easing your heartbeat, filling you with calm certainty. Elsewhere, in a hidden temple, candles flicker softly. Their flames bend and sway, casting long shadows over carved stone and polished floors. A goddess moves between the columns, her hands hovering above each surface, leaving a quiet trace of warmth and light. You drift beside her, feeling the sacred calm that arises from care, given without expectation, presence offered without demand. Every shadow, every glow, every quiet breath of air becomes part of a gentle hymn, carrying you deeper into stillness. Across the hills, distant mountains glow silver under the moon. On their peaks, a goddess walks slowly, robes catching the wind, hair trailing like threads of the night sky. She pauses at each high point, surveying the sleeping valleys below, her gaze tender, unhurried. You sense her protective presence, the quiet assurance that all is seen, held, and safe. Your own body melts further into relaxation, shoulders dropping, muscles loosening, thoughts softening to the gentle hush of stone and sky. In the meadows below, flowers sway in slow rhythm, each bloom catching silver light. A goddess kneels among them, fingers tracing the curve of petals, the soft texture of leaves. Each touch is a prayer, a silent melody of care that travels through the grass, through the flowers, through your own awareness. You breathe in the subtle fragrance of night blossoms, letting the scent drift deep into your chest, carrying warmth, peace, and a sense of tender completion. Along a quiet path, moonlight flows like liquid silver between trees. The goddesses walk beside you, their presence steady and serene. Each step is a heartbeat, each glance a soft lullaby. The forest seems to lean in, the leaves listening, the streams pausing to hear, as though the entire world bends toward this gentle rhythm. You float in the space between shadow and light, carried along by the quiet music of care, observation, and soft reverence. A small owl lands nearby, blinking slowly, observing the scene with serene eyes. It lifts in silent flight, wings brushing the air with barely a whisper. The goddesses watch it go, their eyes calm, unwavering. You sense the continuity of life, the subtle flow of energy that moves through all beings, seen and unseen, heard and unheard. The night is a cradle, the moonlight a blanket, the goddess's presence a lullaby that folds around your mind, urging each thought to rest, each muscle to release. You come to a quiet pond where silver lilies float. The reflections of stars shimmer on the surface, mingling with the soft glow of moonlight. A goddess dips her fingers in the water, sending gentle ripples that reach outward, touching every stone, every flower, every sleeping creature. You feel the ripple reach your chest, untangling tension, carrying the mind to a softer place. Each wave becomes a note in an eternal lullaby, a song of presence, calm, and gentle assurance. The night deepens, and the goddesses gather in a circle of soft light. Their hands rest on earth, on stone, on water. Eyes half closed, they breathe in rhythm with the slow pulse of the world. You drift among them, carried on the cadence of their stillness, feeling the stories of ancient women and divine care wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Across distant skies, stars wheel silently, each one a note in the song of the universe. The moon hangs full and luminous, painting hills, rivers, and temples with quiet silver. The goddesses raise their gaze, tracing constellations with gentle, deliberate attention. Their eyes follow each shimmer, each glimmer, each flicker of light, weaving them into a tapestry of serenity that stretches across time. You lie still, breathing with the rhythm of the night, letting the vast calm of stars and moonlight flow through you, quieting every thought, softening every worry. The wind carries faint sounds from distant places, an owl, a rustling leaf, the soft lap of river against stone. Each is a note in the eternal lullaby, a reminder that life continues in harmony and care. You let the melody fill your mind, letting it move through every part of you, from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers to the soles of your feet. The world feels safe, whole, and tenderly observed. In the final moments of night, the goddesses kneel, heads bowed in quiet meditation. You feel their presence settle into you, their calm and attention merging with your own awareness. Each breath becomes slower, deeper, more complete. The stories of ancient women, whispered through time, wrap around your mind like gentle waves, reminding you that rest, care, and grace are always present. Let us drift onward, through silver forests, across quiet rivers, and beneath watchful stars. Let the eternal lullaby carry you deeper into the calm, soothing folds of night. Every ripple, every soft movement, every quiet glance becomes a gentle guide, leading you toward stillness, peace, and rest. Now rest. As the moon hangs full and steady above, the stars shimmer softly in their eternal dance, and the goddess's presence holds you like a gentle embrace. Let the myths themselves sing you to sleep, soft, serene, and unbroken, carrying you into dreams filled with calm light and tender wonder.